Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lionsgate Talking Stick Show call-in show. So, firstly, I'd like to welcome the incredible pool of psychics we have for the show today. I'd firstly like to welcome the Galactic Historian Andrew Bartis. Hello, brother.
Meow on Meow Day.
Or should we say raw?
Roar on Meow Day.
Meow Day. And we have David Ellis. Hello.
Hello, everyone. No
we
meow,
have-
just hello. There's a dog in where he's living, and anyway, never mind.
And we have the Laura Two Feathers Massey.
Hi guys, hi everyone.
Hello. And
Introduce the dog, man. Introduce the dog.
Yeah, sorry. And we have.
Dog there.
Would you like to introduce the dog on the dog, Laura?
There he is. Look, Cheddar. There.
That dog is named Lord Cheddar.
Lord Cheddar. Yes. There you are, Cheddar. You're on the show.
Lord of the Rusty.
Woof, woof. And we have Maty Waller. Hello, brother.
Oh, hello everyone. It's good to be back.
So here we are, guys. The 8-8, the Lionsgate of 2023. So who would like to start on how it's going, or just something they want to start the show with? We'll grab you in, Maty Waller. How are we doing, brother? And how's Lionsgate been for you?
It is benevolent thus far. So I am it's one of those times of year that I'm bloody nervous every time it approaches, and I've just got a little bit more of a lookout. But this far it's been benevolent. I did make my ceremony today. It's nothing compared to the last two Lionsgates for me so far. The energies have been a bit soupy. I'm a bit ultra sensitive because of the amount of things that we've been doing recently, and I don't know whether it's just the Lionsgate or whether it's to do with what we've been up to. A little bit sensitive, but no, I'm feeling good. Yeah,
good. And what's it like, the comparison from last Lionsgate for you?
I can't even really say on air the things that happened over the last couple of Lionsgates. That's how transformative they were. I mean, my whole life turned upside down last year on the Lionsgate. My whole life, every part of it, and then from that Lionsgate to this Lionsgate, I've had to restructure it. So it's not a complete work, but yeah, the energies are completely different. It was really destructive last year. It was all about destruction. What are you not looking at? And then it was almost like a forced evolution into, right, here you have to address these two particular issues, or this issue or this issue. But thankfully I did. So I'm sitting here today in one piece.
There you go. And I had that moment today, the holy shit moment, where I was thinking of myself last year and how I was and what I was doing and what my dreams were then. And I was like, holy fuck, look at where I am now. Yeah. Look at that guy in last Lionsgate trying to elevate myself. And I remember that period of time, had Andrew Moore on the show, had more guests on the show, started kind of getting forward in that. And for me, seeing that growth and seeing that change in this Lionsgate for me has been incredible. We've had an amazing time in Scotland. The combined therapies have grown me beyond words. Getting to know Andrew more, getting to know David, Maty, Laura, all of you. It feels like we're coming together as family, and it feels like soul family. And it just feels supported. This Lionsgate, I feel supported. Before last year, I felt a bit lost, and I was looking for the right people. And yeah. Incredible, Maty. Laura, how's Lionsgate going for you, sister?
It's going great. It's very productive. It's a great time to manifest and put forward all the exciting stuff we're doing, particularly obviously with you guys and David as well, the Combined Therapies UK. And like you, I've compared it to last year and the year before, and each year has just got a bit better, been a bit more invested in the energies as well this year. Not in fear, not in, if I don't do this, then this won't happen. Or it's just been a case of we're out there, we're doing the work that needs to be done. We're trying to form spiritual communities. We're trying to form communities that help each other heal. And for me, that's what the universe, great mystery, great spirit wants. And I feel we are in alignment with the Lionsgate energies. And the more you do stuff like that and take the sacred neutral point of view and all the things that Andrew has taught us over the years, then I think the less rocky Lionsgate is going to be. And I think the more productive it can be.
Incredible. And
Dale,
Andrew,
your camera's glitching.
is it glitching? Right. I'll just plug it out and in.
There you go. No, still glitching. Turn your webcam off.
Okay, one sec. There we go. So I'm just going to get that sorted. So Andrew, how's your Lionsgate been, brother?
Well, like Laura's, it has been filled with work. We finished the Combined Therapies UK tour, and we are now down here in the south near the Brighton area and trying to make a physical location as well as the next set of packages and tours. So it has been elbow deep into marketing, waist deep into emails, neck deep into different styles of healing. And you know, it's like you're living the mystical life daily, but you're living the marketing words daily too. You know, we've been putting 6 to 8 hours into it a day, you know, for the last, we've been home for 9 days. For about 6 days, we've been putting 6 to 8 hours in it every day just to find that next language. So it looks like it's not your computer doing it. Even when your video was off, it was doing it. So it's got to be something in Restream.
Or 8-8.
Yep, it's your Lionsgate.
It might be the Lions balls. Oh no, it's Discord. I think I've got that open. One sec. There we go. I've closed that.
There you go. Close it.
Yeah, brilliant. Incredible, Andrew. And it is, and like me experiencing this combined therapy and going through it and being a practitioner and being involved in it, it's eye-opening. And it really is the amount of effort what goes behind scenes from everyone here. It's not just the shows and everything like that. There's so much more going on. And it's all to bring the place together, bring us all together and bring communities together. Like David said, the UCM, his intention, it was doing that. And that's what we all want here. We all want people coming together, not judging each other, not turning into Karen and Ken's, and having a space where we can all listen to each other and explore our own geniuses without judging or belittling in any way. So David, the mic's on to you, brother. How's the Lionsgate for you?
I was like really super productive. I see everybody's managing well. Then I opened one of my bedroom windows and the screen blew out. Like it blew out. Then I walked outside. Then it blew out. Like the wind just took the screen away. Then I walked outside and I went looking for the screen to put it back in. Couldn't find the screen. Disappeared into the ether, as the case may be, because the wind is really high up there. Then I came upstairs and I realized, oh no, this is not going to happen. So I'm just going to just shut down and meditate. I did. Guess what happened? I get an emergency message from Andrew. Then I got to jump up. Then somebody I called to put in a new screen showed up at the same time, right? And then I get a message from you guys saying, "Oh, the show is on in half an hour." And yeah, I'm here. I'm still good. I'm still good. You can bet after this, I'm sleeping.
So David, with all your blackout, you got blackout curtains. You didn't notice your screen was gone.
I just opened it to get some light in. You know what? I think it might be a buildup of energy in the house. Because as soon as I opened the window, the screen just flew away. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening to my life right now? Like, what? So there's that.
So as well in the chat, how is everyone's Lionsgate going for them? We've got quite a lot of comments in the chat. Type in the chat how it's going for you. How is it compared for this Lionsgate to the last Lionsgate? So this show, we're going to be doing a call-in show. We've got 4 guests in the back ready to go. Do we want to do anything before we bring them on, or should we bring them on, guys?
Let's bring them on. You're still glitching out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to turn off my camera. Wait 1 second. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Right, so
it was glitching even when your camera was off.
Okay. Can you just take over for a sec while I go in the back and sort it out? 1 sec.
No, not at all, Daniel. You're on the spot.
I give it to you, Andrew. I'm going to take everything out and put it back in again.
What's the name of the first caller?
Klaus was in first.
Klaus, are you there?
Hi, Klaus.
How you
Klaus
doing?
is right there in the middle of us.
Where are
I
you
am,
calling from? Where are you calling
I'm
from?
Denmark.
Denmark. Welcome to the show. We have a
Thank
group
you.
of psychics who are going to pick you apart piece by piece by piece and put you back together again. Okay? So let's everybody push Humpty Dumpty over the wall. Let him shatter. So Klaus, tell us a little bit about yourself while this group of psychics tunes in and looks for all of your faults, your character flaws. No pressure on
Hey.
you.
No pressure. You guys didn't say it was a roasting, but hey, that's okay. Yeah, I'm a musician, singer-songwriter, but my day job is being a teacher on a boarding type school. But I have to say, in Denmark, boarding schools is a very lot different from the ones in the US and the UK. They're much more liberal and creative. It's
Okay.
not as just to get the
Straight.
picture of what. Yeah, it's actually a unique Danish concept. And way back, we had a very brilliant guy who wanted to enlighten the masses. So that's where it all stemmed from the old farming communities, where they didn't actually get a lot of schooling. So he wanted to bring light into those, and that's the tradition where the school I'm teaching on is coming from.
And what do you teach in school?
I've lived 15 years in London, so I teach English and Danish, and a little bit of music and guitar lessons.
Okay. So what is it that you want to do with your life?
Good question. It's I think I'm at a stage where I'm thinking about where is the next 10 or whatever years are going. I'm fairly happy with my job. There's no issues there, good colleagues and things. And I'm on a reduced time on my own choice to get more peace, more quiet, more time to myself. And I can manage financially on that, so that's cool. I have a background not in terms of using it on clients in kinesiology, muscle testing.
Okay.
In an esoteric kind of format. Our teacher in Denmark developed a quite advanced system of it, but using muscle testing as a way of guiding you through and develop new tests and stuff from an esoteric background. We were doing 3 courses a year, 3 weekends, meeting up in a group. We done it something like, it stopped now, but it was 68 times, I think, all in all. And we are learning new stuff, and we are treating each other, so to speak.
Wonderful. So
And
I'm going to pass this over to Maty to tune in and tell us what he receives from the announcing of Klaus and what's going on in his life, and the first set of advice that you'd like to give.
So I was having trouble tuning in. I was looking at him, and I need more background information, really. So what is your spiritual processes, Klaus? How long have you been practicing?
Since late 80s. And then during the 90s, I read a lot of L.S.A. Bailey, which is quite a usual way into it, especially in Denmark. But I was in London at the time, so I read them all in English. And that was partly from our teacher and also the guy who treated me, the kinesiology. And I just was reading it fairly quickly, actually. So I must have been in touch with it before, in previous life or whatever. And then I picked up on Andrew in around the Mount Shasta time, I think, or when that started. So Andrew, I've actually been listening to thousands of hours. By the time when I got Shasta, I looked on. That was when you were doing every show you could get on. Oh, sorry about this, but it seemed like that, and your JP time and all that, and I followed sort of weekly. So I'm fairly sort of used to how you do things.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Go ahead, Andrew.
So you've been around forever.
Yeah.
I sort of think so. Yeah, it's just some of the facts. I'm sort of probably a bit of curiosity learning on, but
Uh-huh.
learning about things I couldn't read otherwise. I was getting to a point where the Alistair Bailey stuff, I think it was fairly well worse than what that was all about and all that. And then sort of this whole thing about, oh, we got an alien, so a new sort of instantly there was something about that, but the whole concept was something like, whoa, that was some new new angles to what's going on. But also, I got a feel from some of the treatments I've had through kinesology. I've been involved with all these, not dramas. I've been at war with the reptilians for millions of years. Probably a bit of jealousy from a light point of view. That's my own feeling of it. But I laid down the arms in 2016. That was a treatment. It was necessary for my stop. And they actually
you knew you couldn't continue to be a frontline fighter 24/7, 365, and go through the awakening that was ahead of you. You had to end that aspect. How hard was it for you to end the war?
It was. The war's been very brutal. I mean, we talk about like curses and stuff. We lived at one in 2015, 16. That was a really bad one. Happened in Atlantis. I think wasn't Maty using this thing about poke the eye for reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
And that was quite severe. But there's been other ones. It's come up through a lot of the traumas from that through the treatments. That's how I know about it. Because when you do a treatment kinesology, the way we do it, you have to look for a understanding age, and because we're doing it for a lot of times, we go way back to find what I'm in. And like Andrew said, it was coming to a head. But what you're saying is coming back to it was really like an empty space. It was a bit like, what now? I also got laid off from my job. Which I was okay about it. So I took a year off. I had some savings. I could do that. And now I'm back in the same place. So it's no big deal on that. But it was like, and my mom died that same year. I had astrology-wise, my Pluto on the ascendant for 3 years during that time. And I think I got off quite lightly for what I understand how that works. But anyway, come back to Andrew. Yeah, it was a bit like, what now?
Now what? Now that the war is over, the big now what? And with that, let's bring in David to help him go, now what?
Yeah, I'm going to be Joe Dyad today. I have a new persona. So, Klaus, I'm going to ask you some very surgical questions. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Surgical, sorry, what was?
I'm going to ask you some very surgical questions. Is that okay?
So, David, why don't you explain what a dyad is?
Yeah, I'm about to explain it to him. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, okay? Well, not very many, just 3. It might get up to 4, but 3. I would like you to just answer not from any kind of cerebral place. I want you to just answer the questions from a true place, the truest part of yourself. When you are answering the questions, if there is something you don't understand, right, you're going to ask me to repeat that. And in the same way, I will ask you to repeat that. If you're talking too much and getting your mind involved, I'm going to tell you to summarize that. Make sense?
Okay.
And if it is that I missed something, or I'm going to ask you to repeat it once again, okay? When this is done, I'm going to tell you thank you. Does that work?
We'll try. I'm up.
Okay. Klaus, tell me, what do you want most in life?
Peace.
Thank you. Klaus, now that you've learned all these things, what are you going to do in this life?
What I'm working on now is what we call stay at home. in the sense that in all my thoughts, whatever, deal with your own stuff. Leave don't try to fix anything outside unless you are invited in. Because my mind can wander sometimes and have internal, discussions with people who are not there, and that's not allowed, so to speak.
Okay, my last question. What would you like to be remembered for in this life?
One who made a difference to others. I've experienced in my teaching things, because it's a boarding school, you get closer to the pupils. I know that I've made a difference for some of them. They've told me that later. And I believe my music also is one channel of. I'm working on a couple of children books, which I think are quite humorous.
I'm going to ask you about your music and whether you have an instrument or something near to you. I'm going to ask you that question, right, Klaus?
No, I didn't, but yeah, I've got a guitar somewhere.
Can you get the guitar? We would love to hear something.
Yeah, no problem. Just hang on. How do I do this? Hang on.
Go, Klaus.
I see Amy Kruzek in the chat. Did y'all notice that Amy's in the chat?
Yeah,
Yes.
she sneaked in.
Hi, Amy.
You saw her.
Yeah. Amy, we're talking after this.
You're supposed to be spending time with your husband.
Okay. That's good. These
Yeah, this man is a real musician, always ready. Always ready.
No, I got a gig on Saturday, so I've been practicing before, early on.
Let's hear it, Klaus.
Does the guitar come through okay?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Do you want the whole song or just a bit of it?
Let's have it. Let's have it. This is a Lionsgate
Be
show.
inspired. Be inspired.
It's called Let the Love Flow, Nighttime Prayer, a little ballad, which is dear to my heart. Oh, sorry. I'm a body guy. That's better. When I'm asleep, deep in the night, Spirit, come and take me on a heavenly flight. Give me the wings, the strength to fly out of the darkness, let go without a fight. Let the love flow. Let the love flow. Let me be strong in troubled times. Show me the reasons, throw me a line. Give me the strength, give me a sign to gain the wisdom, the secrets of life. Let the love flow. Let the love flow. Send me your love, a love divine, a guardian angel to guide me through the night. Send me a song, line to line, to ease the troubles, the worries on my mind. Let the love flow. Let the love flow.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Bravo. Beautiful, beautiful. Bravo.
Thanks.
Yeah, Andrew.
beautiful.
This man is the first unofficial Buddhist I've ever met in my life. That was beautiful, Klaus.
Thank you.
A lot of passion behind it. Lots of passion. Everyone.
Is there any way we can get this to give this man a bigger platform? Because people needed to hear that. Everybody listening to this needed to hear that.
It's out on Spotify.
Oh,
actually.
good. Give us what is the handle on Spotify?
It's my Klaus, and shall I type it in the? Can I do
You
that?
can. Yeah, you can. And we'll share it.
It's how do I? Or shall I do it in the private chat? Yeah, I can do it there.
Mm-hmm.
And the title of the album is Danish Ud af skyggen, which means out of shadow, because that was I've been writing all this stuff and doing this for years, and everybody saying, you got to record it, and I financed the whole thing myself.
Well, my advice to you is to keep doing that and putting that out there, because it affected the people who are listening to you.
Absolutely.
Very receptive audience, right? And a lot of people needed to hear that today. So I hope the people listening to this after the fact would actually listen to this. And thank you for that dyad. Actually, it gave me some very good answers there.
Yeah, Klaus, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
And this is like private. This is kind of a personal question in a way. So, you seem a very peaceful man. How did you let go of the war energy? What was your process from going from war to peace? And how did you make that happen?
During the treatment, we actually made a kind of visualization. One of the guys took me through a whole, not session, what do you call that? Seance, well, not seance, but where he took me, you go to this place, you put down your sword, he sort of guided me through, and I could see the whole thing inside. And there was, I counted something like 480 sort of spiritual beings there, angels, whatever. And then the reptilians came and they kneeled for me in respect, because they have this respect thing. They actually respect somebody who's real and actually do what he does. And so, okay, we honor you for the fight. It's kind of weird concept, but
I have the same relationship with them. They've tried to attack me so many times, and now there's a mutual respect between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it was. Having said that, it's last year, I think, in probably around August, actually. I got this thing about it's time to buckle up, and not buckle up with the seatbelt, but buckle up again. And I was thinking, oh no. And then I had some red boy, one of the dark forces, sent somebody around to scare me a bit, and I chopped the head off. Sort of, it was kind of weird. I thought, oh no, not again.
Yeah, but once a warrior, always a warrior.
Yeah, but I had to, I think, because things have been right, as everybody here knows, from 2020 onwards. There's a lot of stuff been going on, and I thought, okay, I gotta wise up now. Not to back into the old stuff. It's a bit like, oh, do I have to kind of buckle up again? But it was in a more peaceful way. But coming back to, it was actually not that hard. The weirdest thing was the emptiness of being, what am I, again, what's my, not purpose, but what do I do now? Because this has been so much, and also through some of the treatments over the years, I've had to put off research about this, but I knew it was important to me. to get down the rabbit hole really big, to get conscious about, or in this life, understand that I've been part of all this.
To make sense of it all. To make sense.
Yeah.
So what's your personal ritual and ceremony process?
It's something I'm trying to figure out at the moment. What
Yeah.
I want to do, but I've had a fairly long vacation here, so I'm a late sleeper, so I get sort of when I wake up, I do when I'm not working, I do what's it called, Wim Hof breathing, sort of the session for 12 minutes, the one with 3 rounds. Then I've done a chakra healing CD, so I listen to that. It's also out on Spotify. That's on a different name. It's Regli Healing, and you'll find it there. And that's created with acoustic guitar, but it sounds like ringing bowls. It's like ringing sounds. So I use that on myself to tune that, and maybe do a little bit of meditation, and then from there, that's sort of the most things. But I work a lot on trying to get my thoughts in order, in the sense that, again, stay in my own energy instead of being out there saying this is wrong or this and that, and it happens really on autopilot before you know it. So that's been my and let things be.
When I look at your energy, that's where I see the biggest gap in that ritual ceremony process. It's the structure of it, because you have these gifts, talents, abilities, but they aren't unfolding in a way that makes sense to you, that gives you a direction. And that comes with the daily practice. Your daily practice is too fractured. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not structured enough. That's what I'm at the space where I'm trying to work out and what works for me, and find maybe my own ways of doing it. For some not strange reason, but sort of my whole attraction towards native Indian thing. I know I've been involved in that as well, incarnating wise. But I can see my guides, in the sense that I look out there and I see them standing behind me. And sometimes I communicate with, and 3-4 years ago, suddenly there was this Indian. He was very quiet. He was just standing there. I think there's about 4 of them now. It might be more.
And they're saying, "What now?" They're saying the same thing. What now? What are you going to do?
So
We're waiting.
let's ask you.
What's going to happen?
Let's ask you Andrew's favourite question. What do you think your purpose is, Klaus?
That was what I was going to ask you about.
What are you here for? What do you feel you're here for?
I think it's when I say show the way, I mean that in the spiritual community, you sometimes find that people are saying one thing but they live another, or whatever, and I'm guilty as everybody else on that. But it's more like, if you want to show what kindness is, you have to show it literally. You have to be it. Even when I got, let me say, some pupils who are acting up a bit, we don't have a lot of rogues, but whatever, in situations with human beings where they sort of like trigger you, and you kind of think, okay, what will be the kindest way? And I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I'm practicing it. Instead of saying, and sometimes not move people too fast. You got sometimes I could get involved in, I think, what's called forced evolution. Most likely because I think that has happened to me myself, and sort of like I think they know more than they do, and I throw something out there and you go like, oh no, and that's not very good for them. It's not very good for me. So it's a matter of keeping it quite simple, in the sense that the old biblical thing about treat others as you want to be treated yourself, but still keep your values intact. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think from what you're saying,
yes,
you want
very
to live by example. So you
Yeah.
want to walk that sacred neutral path and show the compassion
Yeah.
and all the
And-
other things. That
And I'm
yeah.
really training a lot this central neutral path sacred, because that's where I know I gotta work on, instead of no, stop judging, stop doing this. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. They're doing it for a reason. You don't know what happened to them before that. There's a reason why they're experiencing this. Just keep yourself to yourself in that sense. But if they ask a question, I can say, okay, have you ever thought about, well, this is how it works? Where I think previously I've probably been gone full in, let's see this. Oh, this is cool. This is how it works. And it comes from there and there. But if they're not there, it's none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not been very good at that. So that's where my...
Well, Klaus, thank you for calling. We got to move on to the next caller already. But you've been really special. Everybody, check out Klaus's Spotify page and his healing songs. And I look forward to talking to you again someday.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Klaus. Thank
You're
you.
good.
Bye.
Very cool person.
Yeah.
Out there, has been listening to the material forever and has understood the message of the peacekeeper, the peacemaker. We must end our internal wars. For us to go to the greatness of awakening, we must have peace inside ourselves. Peace that is an elongated peace, not one that is temporary. So, Dale, who's the next caller? You're muted.
Carolina, hello, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Did you want my
Hello,
camera
welcome
on?
to the show. How are we doing?
Sure. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Norfolk, England.
Yay, England!
Norfolk, England. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I've
How long you been listening to us for?
well, this is my first show, and I followed you for a while now. My mum has also, and I came to Vancouver for one of your conferences. I think it was a few years ago, 2016, 17, something like that.
That would have been Seattle.
Oh, Seattle, sorry. I don't know why I said Vancouver. That's where I flew into, I think. One of those.
That's probably fluent.
One of those. And I saw Dale's message in your group on Facebook, and something told me to come and join, and here I am. So I'm pretty new, but I'm very stoked to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and like what your goals are in life.
So my background's in psychology. I have studied psychedelic medicine and plants for a little bit myself. A bit of a psychonaut, if I'm honest. 4 years ago, I had my daughter, Isla, and that kind of stopped. And I became a mother, and that was quite transformative in itself. In letting go of my old self and learning how to be a mother in this life, I guess. Just in the last 4 years, I think a lot of my friendships have kind of died and things have kind of ended, and it's been I had a postnatal depression with my daughter, and I'm still currently in therapy myself, trying to kind of come to terms with what's happened. And so slowly my daughter will be going to school in September, and I am slowly kind of emerging from this chrysalis, I guess, of motherhood.
Well, let's bring Laura in here to help you with some of the ancestral energies and what she sees as part of your motherhood growth and your spiritual growth.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, you've obviously, is that your first daughter, your first child?
Yes.
Yeah, so it takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy, absolutely. And that's where your focus has been. And now you're coming to the stage where you can it's not a question of pulling back some of the energy, but allow some space for you, because I know what it's like as a new mum. We give so much and we forget about our own path to self-healing and our own self-care. So I think, what's the thing about Andrew's material that's affected you most?
I think, well, it was my mum who introduced me to him. She's done a lot of work with revocations and contracts and things like that. And recently, well, last year, my dad passed away. I was never in contact with him really. The last time I kind of saw him was when I was 4. My daughter's 4 actually now. And when he passed away, I found out that he passed away from throat cancer. And I felt him come to me, and he was quite an abusive father and to my mum. And he kind of came to me and he wanted to apologize for what happened. But I still felt this uneasiness around me. And a few months ago, something happened where at night, I kind of got up and I just felt like my whole body was shaking. And I just felt like I was having a psychedelic trip. That's as close as I can. I felt like I was dying physically. And my mum sat with me and I was crying, and it was as if I was purging some sort of energy. I don't know what it was. Then I went to sleep. Next day I was fine, but I was just absolutely drained. And my mum said, do you know what, we need to do a contract revocation. So we sat down together, we bought our crystals in our conservatory, and I just sat there and I read the whole carrot and stick revocation and just really kind of did that. And I felt like there was an energy change around that. I felt like my energetic boundary kind of went woo, and it was amazing. I've also been kind of working with piecing back parts of my soul. I feel like in therapy I've also talked about claiming back my soul shards in a way, because I feel like some of the psychedelic experiences that I've had have been very traumatizing. And so I've kind of this past couple of years I've been working with bringing myself back together again.
Absolutely.
Are you using cannabis at all?
Not anymore.
So
what did you do to replicate that? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dale. You can see it too, right?
So as I'm looking at you, it's like as soon as you came on, I can see your roots, but they're all twisted. It's like there's a ground roots, but they're all twisted around you. And it's like, how can you get out of being twisted into finding the knot and unraveling it bit by bit? Have you got a plan or a schedule for having less of the being the mummy time to having you time? What's your plan ahead of doing that? Because that innately is going to grow you beyond words, of seeing all these roots step by step, making the next step. How can you be a responsible healer? And that's what's coming up for you. How can you be responsible in healing yourself and making those steps? So what plans have you got for the future when you have less mummy time, when you have your own time?
Therapy, seeing a counselor, taken a step back from psychedelics. Sorry, my screen keeps turning off. 1 second.
It's fine. It's not doing that here.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
I'm not even seeing the flickering screen Andrew was saying.
You're good.
I also feel called to work with cacao. I've worked with cacao a few times. That's quite a grounding kind of force for me. Meditation.
Can I jump in here a second? So you know you're a psychonaut. You know that you've been traumatized from medicine. Why are you letting these strange callings in, putting you back to medicine?
What do you mean?
Cacao is medicine. It's MDMA in its root format. You do know that, right?
No.
Yeah. Like when you have intense cacao ceremonies, it's like being on MDMA.
Yeah.
That's in MDMA is in cacao. So
Oh, okay.
part of your sharding and understanding here is no medicine is no medicine. Cacao is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? As you begin to work with your psychotherapist, I'm going to pass it on to David here a second. You got to have a set of truthful moments about what actually happened in some of these memories and the fake in the odd grace places where you don't know what happened. Because it's like a kidnapping of a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And David, I want you to take up from there how some of these medicine moments have had a kidnapping traumatic effect on her.
Okay, you're using the medicine for illumination, am I correct?
Of course.
Okay, so can I just, today is process day. Can I run a process with you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a psychotherapist. I understand that you have a background in psychology. So I'm first of all going to point out a couple of trends for you, okay? There seems to be a trend running in your family where there's a dysfunction between the ancestor and the descendant. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Have you asked your mother about it? Have you asked her how that went? Do you understand that you're in a position right now to make a difference? You do, right? So I'm going to ask you some very surgical questions because I can't help it. I always talk like this.
Go for it. I might cry.
Before I ask you that question, I'm going to ask you to take just 10 seconds. Just do a little bit of a connection with me. 10 seconds. Look me dead in the eye.
Okay.
We're good?
Okay, I'll try.
Give me your name, first of all.
My name is Karolina Zahovic.
Okay. Carolina, I have a question for you. Carolina, what hurts you the most right now?
Injustice, I think.
Tell me about the injustice.
Just like you said, the ancestral kind of passing on of patterns that are a part of you, I guess. And there's a lot of injustice and violence in what my past has been.
I understand. Is that what is hurting you the most right now?
Yeah.
Carolina, do you think you're shutting yourself away from your daughter right now?
Yeah.
Are you judging yourself for shutting yourself away from your daughter right now?
Yeah.
Do you love her?
Absolutely.
Do you think you're shutting yourself away from your daughter to protect her?
Yeah.
That's a self-judgment. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
Can you see it? It's not helping her. It's not helping her. You're using the medicine to get away from it. You're not using the medicine for the self-illumination. You cannot numb anymore. You have to be here. So when Andrew says you got to go off the medicine and deal with the things that are inside yourself, you absolutely do have to do it. Okay? You have a lot of pain inside of there. And what's worse than that, you're trying to suppress it. You're trying to function. You're just trying to function.
There's a lot of anger as well.
Anger is just another kind of way of saying pain. It really is. And why are you afraid to let that out?
Because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Do you want to hurt anyone? You think that you can't stop yourself?
I don't know.
Well, here's a way of doing this in a safe environment. My first question to you is, when you go see the therapist, when you do the medicine, when you try experimenting with cacao and so on, what is the intention? Be honest with yourself right now. What is your intention?
My intention has always been to ground myself. In the last couple of ceremonies, it's to ground myself.
And now you have to find how to ground yourself without the medicine at all. And I've had a similar experience to what you're having at one point in time when I was doing medicine. And I did too much one time and it got quite bad. Then I got depressed for about 9 months. Then I had to find the courage and effort to start fixing myself. And I was scared shitless at the start. It terrified me. But the more steps you take on fixing what's in here and forgetting the medicine for now, because the medicine's showing you that there's something within you which needs to be fixed. And it's going to take time and a structure and a plan for you to start doing it bit by bit, getting the help you need, learning how to be in the body, using exercise skill, body work. There's many different avenues for you to be able to ground yourself without the medicine. And you can be a grounded mum. So you go through this process of healing, become better and better throughout the years. Just think what your daughter's going to think of you when she sees you in that transition of becoming where you are when she was born to where you are in the next 4 years. It's just requiring you now to be responsible healer, be a responsible mother. And this daughter's come in to teach you that. How can you be responsible without the medicine now? Forget the medicine, forget cacao. You're needing to fix what's inside of you. Then maybe in the future, the day might come where you will be ready to explore that. But for now, there's no medicines needed. It's all the inner work now, and it's all finding the courage and the warrior which you are in there. I can see it. If anybody wants to add anything to that.
Yeah, you don't have to be overly spiritual in this, Caroline. I think it's more a case of a step back and taking some basic care of yourself. Yeah, getting yourself some treatments and some love, and shedding some of that injustice guilt that has no place in your life, and you will untangle the roots that way without having to do any medicine to ground yourself. Just ground yourself in a 3D world first. Get your life straighter in a 3D world.
My piece of advice for you to start with is, whenever you hear the calling, quote unquote, ignore it. Your first and only calling for your next phase of life is you and your daughter. And this isn't being selfish. It's learning the rules of the self first. Okay? The day your daughter was born, how much love did you feel? More than you ever felt before.
Yeah.
And all those days afterwards, did it diminish?
No, despite it being very hard, it never diminished.
It wouldn't diminish. You got to go back to that victory moment of I gave birth. Now I have the responsibility to honor that love of that birth. And it's more than just the metaphor, be all you can be. It's be what you can be in this moment, in the next moment to come. We're never going to be perfect. This anger and rage you have, you know where it comes from. You really do. Okay? You need to figure out how to transmute and transform some of it.
I have a direction for that transmutation process.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead, David.
That thing that is running through your family, that is your enemy. It really is. It's not the people, it's that thing, that energy that's running through your family that's messing up your relations. That is where your enemy lies. Okay? And you got to fight it and develop an attitude that this is not jumping another generation. You are dying right here. Yeah, that's my advice to you.
How do I kill it?
Well, you started. You just laughed. Look at you. You're laughing at it. You have to laugh at this thing and diffuse all the power inside of it. Be happy. Be happy. Because the truth of the matter is that little girl, right, will love you until your warts and all the faults and everything else. Okay? And you got to be happy with her and show this energy that's around you a fullness of yourself, right? Kill that thing dead, okay? We're all rooting for you.
Your love is venom to it. And the more love, your love is venom to it. Your love to your child is venom, pure venom. And you take that inside and knowing my love is ever increasing love for myself and my capacity to love my child and to receive my child's love back in this cycle of love is venom to that. And it will begin to lose power day by day, week by week, as more of that love energy transmutes and transforms the rage inside you into motivation and success. Daily success. Hey, I went out and exercised today, or I did something different in my house. Weekly success. Man, I have a whole different form of spiritual practice. Monthly success. You know what? I got tired of my repeat and I made a new schedule for myself that's much better. Yearly success. I have enough victories to show me that the next year's my next loving challenge.
I hear you.
Yeah. And I noticed that you dropped a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Maybe you might want to get some new ones that actually see what you're going through, that actually see you. Because another part of this whole postpartum depression that you're talking about is the concept of becoming invisible, which you would like to happen, I suspect. But you can't, because we're all seeing you on this broadcast right now. So you can't become invisible, but I see that you're fighting because you're here in front of us, right? Keep that fight a different kind of way and get rid of this toxic energy that's messing with you, okay? It's not the people, right? That visit that you had is all part of that network, okay? And you can't let it keep you down. You can't. You just can't. Okay? And I say you can't, I mean you can choose to, but let me tell you, what we're looking at is somebody who has infinite potential, right? We see the potential in you. Look at all the stuff you can absorb. Okay? We're having a psychological discussion along with a spiritual discussion, and you're understanding what I'm saying. So, use what's inside and fight.
Fight for your right to party in a positive way without drugs.
Did you just quote a Beastie Boys song?
Yes.
That's awesome.
You just put it in the Beastie Boys for real?
Party consciously.
Exactly. Conscious partying.
Medicine-free partying.
Get now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It all
my
sounds
advice to
good.
you. Be happy. 2 words. That's it. Be happy.
That's good
And it might be
advice.
good for you to have a meeting as well and hold yourself accountable for doing it. So through the
Yeah.
week, set a time and a place where you can have a meeting with yourself and go, right, did I do these things last week? Have I made plans for next week? Then each week, have it on the calendar that you sit down and hold yourself accountable for all of this, to know that you have to make the effort and the intention of doing it. It's not all going to happen in front of you and just flow. You've got to put in the graft for this. And this is something I did, put in years and years of graft, years of time, years of dedication, 1 year after the next, building myself even more until the time comes where the smile comes back and you start remembering what's real, love, life, enjoying, experiencing, going out and exercising, learning how to have regular dopamine releases through exercise. That might be something which might be really important for you. Breath work and so on, just stuff so you can feel really alive again and start having that freedom where you look out and you smile and you go, the world's good again and I'm ready to enjoy and learn from it.
And let that
Yeah.
baby be your teacher. Let that baby be your teacher. She'll show you how to love.
And she'll show you how to be innocent again.
Exactly.
Okay, you didn't get innocence growing up, did you?
No.
It was stolen from you.
Can everybody send a collective hug to this woman? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
a hugger.
Thank you.
Every time you go to sit down and play with her, say to her, "What can you teach me today about innocent play and innocent love?"
Yeah.
And she'll do it if you're ready to listen.
I
Laura,
just need to be comfortable to listen.
Laura, you've
get
raised
comfortable with
children and grandchildren. What can you tell her about the mother and the grandmother having to play with children?
Just enjoy their energy in play, and be guided by them. And you can do that, and it's such a beautiful way to just have fun. Allow them, as I'm sure you do, to use their imagination and enter their imaginary games as well, and just really just let yourself go. None of this is spiritual. That's the thing. None of this is actually that spiritual. It's just letting go and having fun. Whatever it is you do with them, whether you have a Dolly's tea party or anything like that. Just let go and enjoy it and be guided by her. And don't feel silly if you're rolling on the grass or on the floor or just playing games. Just let all those inhibitions go and just be guided by them, because they are such teachers.
Yeah. And when the programs do come in to take you out of your body, so that you're there present with the child who's playing, but you're not really there, you're floating around somewhere in depression, don't feel that bad, just bring it back. This was my greatest challenge as a parent for me. It was to not be floating around in my own mind. Yes, my body's present with them, but I'm not fully present. And it was when I was able to learn the skills to be fully present with them in the moment, listening to them and engaging with them, that true joy came back. But it's not done overnight.
If it does go all crazy and things happen, you get annoyed, just as soon as you calm down, just continue on finding that love again. And that's something I learned, was never letting it affect me or feel shame or blame for what I've done. It's just allow yourself to engage the love again, bring that smile back, continue on. Don't allow it to shatter you into 1,000 pieces if you make a mistake. And that's a big thing what people do when they're in that mode. Soon as they shatter everything up, that's it. They don't want to look at themselves again and they just go off. Just continue on, get back on the horse as many times as you need to.
Now I have the Beastie Boys in my head.
I'm going to have to go and listen to it now.
Yeah, do it. And Galactic Stories recommendation, you'll find wisdom in that music.
You also got to start listening to the Eye of the Tiger every morning. There's a lot of really good one-liners in there. You trade your passion for glory. Okay? Some really cool one-liners, motivational one-liners that can help anyone, just with the power of music, help you get through certain emotional subject matters.
I love music.
Hey,
Dance
remember
with it then.
the Black Eyed Peas song that I played at the Living the Mystical Life Daily event?
No.
Yes.
Which one is it? Which one?
You all know which one it is. That song was my motivational energy to create the entire process. Okay, along with a number of other songs that really helped me go into that super creational position.
The sun will come out tomorrow, so you better hang on till tomorrow.
Right, so we've got to go to the next caller because the time's
Thank
up.
you.
But thank you so much for calling in.
you.
Thank
You're
you.
inspiring.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marilyn. Thank you.
See you soon. Thank you. So we have next. So if I'm saying this right, Anastasia, we have
Anna is
Anna.
fine. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Hi.
How are we
Hello,
doing?
Anna.
Hey, doing good.
Where
I'm very glad that you're having this call-in show.
are
And
you
I was
calling?
able to get on. I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everyone.
So, what did you think of some of the previous callers?
It's very interesting to hear everyone's different journeys through healing and through self-discovery and the variety of human experiences that we have.
So, what's been your healing journey? Share with us.
I was a workaholic for about 10 years until life forced me to stop totally and take a long, hard look at my paths and do a lot of self-healing reflection and do the self-nurturing that I never have done before. And now I'm at a place where I've done that for a few years and I feel stuck.
Stuck like duct tape is on you, or stuck like your feet don't move?
Stuck like nothing is moving. Probably like I'm not moving.
Does it feel
Things are moving around me, but I'm not.
Does it feel like you're walking through molasses? Everything is very slow.
Everything is slow, but also at the same time really fast on other levels.
Okay. What are you doing for a job now?
I work from home. I do marketing.
Like for a big company marketing or individual?
No. For myself, freelancing.
Okay, so you're just a freelance marketer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a hard job?
Now it's not. It was for a while. To go through all the learning and then learning how to run my own business.
Okay.
But now it feels good, that like a good pace. So money-wise, I feel like I feel stable. But now it's sort of like I want to find my people to start building. I want to have a home base and make a shift and find that home base to start building.
Okay. What's in you that's stopping you from building right now?
I feel like a lot of it is the location, and there's no one around that can share the same values and language even. And so I want to move, but I don't know where. I don't know where to go from here. It's sort of starting from zero and where to go physically.
So I'm going to ask you one more question before I bring David in here. Are you happy right now?
Yes, I am. I really am happier than I felt before.
David?
I feel content and happy.
Hey, how you been?
Good.
I should probably tell you where I live. I live near the North Pole, really, kind of. All right, in the most harshest climate ever. These are simple country folk, and yeah, and the
He
province.
he moved from the Caribbean to the frozen tundra.
Yes, I did.
Why?
And so the people are like simple folk, and the province didn't have a problem with COVID since everybody was naturally socially distant. So I can pretty much tell you that from what I'm hearing, you are capable. I can hear it. You're doing marketing, right? So you're doing local marketing for businesses, correct? Or just yourself?
Yeah, for businesses.
Okay, so you're a local business marketer and so on. Can I make a suggestion to you?
Yes, please.
I have lots of suggestions, but we're going to keep it down to like two. Right. First suggestion is I suspect you are getting the kind of loneliness construct that comes from an isolation of people that are not with your mindset. Yeah. Welcome to my world. Okay. I literally live in a frozen tundra. So my first suggestion is when shit isn't happening around you, make shit happen. That's number one. Okay. What does that look like? Because that sounds like something else that I have to worry about, right? No. What does that look like? Do a Google search of any metaphysical store around you, right? Anyone. You're in Los Angeles. What part of Los Angeles are you?
I am in Los Angeles, but I am familiar with the scene, with like the yoga, the spiritual
Yeah, and you don't like that stuff, do you?
Well, Los Angeles, I'm sure you know how it
Yes, I do.
has a very specific way of thinking. So, like, I want to get out, but I don't know where.
Okay.
But you're a marketer. Wait, you're a marketer. You don't know how to get out where. Come on.
I don't want to be online all the time. That's my job. I'm always online. Sorry. What?
You have to still market yourself. And what David's trying to tell you is your social life is an extension of your marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah. Your social media is your marketing. You can draw people to yourself of like minds if you put yourself out there. Now, the next question is, do you want to put yourself out there, my dear? I'm sorry. That was a surgical question. Do you want to put yourself out there? Because I noticed that your camera's off, first of all.
I feel I don't feel physically solid to put myself out there. Like, I don't have a base.
It doesn't matter whether you have a base or not. It could be simple as, I assume that there are parks and stuff around you, right? Right? You can make shit happen. Trust me when I tell you, you can make shit happen. Because if I made shit happen in where I am, and I tell you, like, the closest metaphysical stop to me is like long. It's a long way away, right? You can make shit happen. Right? You just have to be on people's radar, and you're a marketer, so you have all the skill sets to do what you want to do. Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
This is going to be a surgical question. That's all I know how to do. I can't talk any other way. I'm sorry. Why are you off camera?
I don't have the appropriate background.
But we're not interested in your background. But we're not interested in your background. We're interested in you. So why is your camera off?
As long as there are as long as there are no dildos in the background, your background is fine.
I don't care about the dildos, man. Okay, listen.
That has happened before. Okay.
Don't mind them. They're just being phallus junkies. Anyway, so can I ask you a question? Are you self-conscious about yourself? Be honest.
Yeah, I am self-conscious, but I also have felt
judged.
That getting on camera is very exhausting. Being not in person is great, but putting myself on that camera, putting photos, I feel the energetic connections, and I feel drained afterwards. Even posting like the whole social media and showing myself. I mean, that's why LA is so hard, is because everyone is posting themselves and everyone is drained. And that's what I got out of. I got out of the hustle. I got out of this blind going forth and, making my career show, proving myself to everyone, that now I feel like I don't want to put myself online. I would rather make those connections in person. And so I want to move to a place where I can do that in person. I'm tired of doing it online, and I've experienced a life of what it is like doing the whole social media, doing it, showing my persona
Okay.
online.
So here's what I'm getting from you, and tell me if I'm wrong here. Okay. Number one, you think there's more to life than this plastic existence, which is the social media thing. Because the truth of the matter is, social media is a plastic existence. You don't know me. I don't know you. I might be an axe murderer, might have a few bodies buried in the backyard and stuff like this. But you want true connection. You want connection with real people. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So here's the advice that I have for you, and you're not going to like it. Okay. The first advice that I have for you is if you want to solve that problem and you want to move somewhere, you need to move to a small town where people are very, very genuine and have less poison inside of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So the small towns that are around you that I would know about, if you're in California, you need to move to places like Sacramento. Definitely stay out of San Jose Valley and stay away from Oakland with like all that you have. Okay. So
yeah, I've been looking at the East Coast actually. So
like New York,
the West Coast has been here the longest.
Be careful. Where in the East Coast are you looking at? Trust me, I have a map of all the cool places in my head. Where in the East Coast are you looking
how about Florida?
You listen, that's it. Okay, so here's what you're gonna have to deal with in Florida. Okay. There are going to be people that don't have the same. The metaphysics in Florida is very traditional or it's very out there. It's one of the two, okay? And so you're going to have to find somewhere in between. If you move to Florida, remember, right, that you have to start over again. So it's still going to come down to the marketing. Now, here's the problem with being online and not being online. The world has accepted that online is the way that they're going. So even there are, let's say that there are 1,000 people who think just like you. Y'all are spread out. I found, and this is what Andrew and I found, when it is that you have people, it's not that there's no light in the world. It's just spread out all over the world. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all over the world online.
It's because it's spread out, and we never connect and so on. Andrew, Dale, this is the first time you're meeting Andrew, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 weeks ago for
the first time that Dale met Andrew.
Yes.
The only reason why I'm bringing this point up is because meaningful relations can exist online. Like, I don't know these guys, but I don't know Laura. I don't know Laura in person. I've never met Laura. Have I met you? No, I've never met Laura in real life. But let me tell you, Laura and I are close. And if she wants something, she's going to message me and say, David, I want XYZ. And then I'm going to move on it. And I feel these people like brother and sister. I'm not saying that to counter your point. But my point is, if you're going to want that in-person connection and you move to Florida, there are a few things that you're going to have to know. So if you're in Broward County, let's say you want to live in Broward County, the metaphysics there is very, very traditional. So you might end up wearing a sari. I'm sorry. Moving right to floor, right? Right? It's very traditional. But if you move to Jupiter and these kinds of places, the metaphysics is way out there, like way out there. Okay. So I don't know, because it's a matter of alignment, right? And I'm going to go back to my original statement. When shit isn't happening, make shit happen. Because if you try to meet people one by one, how much time do you have? You have a full lifetime. You could always reincarnate and find your tribe. But in this world of space nothing, because when you walk into an environment, let's say you go to your local library, there may be one person with light inside that library, but y'all are not going to connect. You want to know why? Because you're in a thing that says, I don't want a certain kind of interaction. That person is in this thing that says, I don't want a certain kind of interaction. You look at them, they look at you, and it's like, do I?
The moment passes.
You see my point?
Yeah.
So it comes back to,
I mean, how does this all fit in with the energetics and the? I mean, in person, you have a connection. Online, it's so flat, and then there's the
You're missing.
psychic
You're
level.
missing something. You've been caught in the dross of business. Example: September last year. I was on one of Dale's show, and we just mentioned at the end of the one shows, hey, we should do something together. I said, all right, Laura, set up a Zoom meeting. So I was a Tuesday show, and Saturday we had a Zoom meeting. By the end of Saturday, we were planning a bus tour. And we made it happen 8 months later, 9 months later. And we absolutely grew close. I learned all about Maty, all about Dale, all about Laura. And I've known Laura for years. And then David came into the circle too. And we had a circle of friendship because we not only marketed and self-marketed ourselves together, we're on the same journey of presenting ourselves to a community.
But you've established that connection over time, so you've built that trust. I feel like it's not about, I mean, I guess I have a fear of building and then being not let down, but having to start over and over again when there's just,
my dear,
and clearing that out again. Like, I want that home base to begin.
Understood. So I have a song in my head. Have you ever heard Frou Frou's "Let Go"?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Let go, jump in. Life is so amazing here. You've heard that song before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that applies because here's the thing. You want something. I hear that you want something, and it's absolutely genuine what you want, but you have barriers up. You do realize this, that is blocking that thing from getting to you because you don't want to encounter flatness, as you put it. You do have barriers up. I'm not. Are you completely open and transparent and ready to receive all the energies of the universe? Answer the question, yes, no.
Yes, it's Lionsgate. I better be.
But you have conditions.
That is a barrier.
You're blocking the gate.
And self-doubt. There's some self-doubt there too.
So real quick, I want to ask Laura, what was it like to grow a business and a friendship with me and a group with us over a period of months that we all got to know each other?
Fabulous, and couldn't have done it without the internet or being face to face like this. I mean, it would be much more difficult if we went back to just phone calls or letters I mean, if you're going to find your soul family or whatever it is you want to call them, you've got to reach wider than the local town. And I've got a lot of lovely people in my local town and a lot of lovely friends, but they're not the people I'm moving forward with the business with. The people I'm moving forward with the business with is Dale comes from the north of UK, Maty comes from 2 or 3 hours away from me, mid UK. David, well, we know where he is, in the middle of nowhere. And Andrew, obviously.
I absolutely understand. Yeah. So I think I see it, and it's.
I built a community.
Making
you guys, right?
Building the connections as finding the soul family, but then being clear about the reality of the situation rather than wanting a connection and then having that interacting with that public persona and then the other public persona, and then there's the energetics that maybe there's something going on.
You are talking to 5 public people, right?
Sure.
I wanted to say you have a manifestation issue, right? Because you want to be regular to the bathroom, but you're eating bread, right? So this I just want to say this. This is an analogy that I want to make, and it's not a criticism, it's an analogy, right? Because here is the thing, I get where you're coming from. Everybody here suffers the pain of the geographical pain. Everybody does, okay? Everybody suffers geographical pain. I am in the middle of nowhere. I there are people around me, but I try to make shit happen, and that's how I actually met people, right? Because I did.
Last time I made shit happen, I got stuck and I had to clear that out and I had to heal. I had to take a long time to heal from it because
so there's
I was making shit happen.
so there's actually a little bit of trauma associated there, right?
Sure.
You want to delve into that? Somebody else?
Hold on. Trauma. Do you know being a public-facing personality, trauma is inevitable? I don't recently. Have you recently heard what I went through?
I have. Yes.
All right. If I wasn't for these four in the background helping me go through it, it would have been infinitely harder. Infinitely harder. But each and every one of them was able to give me a unique perspective. And it's not even about talking me down. It's just talking to me, letting me be frustrated and grumpy bear, and then coming back to my normal self. You didn't have a network to help collect yourself.
No.
Okay. And that's the first thing you got to build. A network of like-minded people who have a simple goal. How can we help people? Okay. Maybe you want to use your marketing skills. You know what? Hey, let's put a canned food drive together to help feed children. Okay. Or another one for ASPCA, for the animals in veterinary clinics. And then that's a group of like-minded people who are working through a donation process and a little bit of your marketing skill. And then you say, hey, let's get together and have a world peace meditation day. Okay. And then a little bit more. And then the next thing you know, who's the doers, who's the fakers? Okay. And you grow from there.
Do you think you're very sensitive to other people's projections, Anastasia?
I'm waiting.
Working on it. I'm definitely working on it.
Okay, so you're giving them far too much relevance in your life than your own view of you.
Yeah.
Laura, I'm going to ask, how did you suss that out? Go ahead, tell us, Laura. Sorry.
Are you psychic, Laura? Have you there's something you're not telling us.
Well, something in Anna's voice and the fact she's not on camera too. But also some of the what she's been saying is the feeling I'm getting is she is a little bit concerned about being judged as well, which is why she like to keep it closer to home rather than on the internet.
So can I ask
it's more controllable then?
Can I ask a really really hard question?
Yes, please.
Are you one of those people that has to prepare yourself 2 hours before your day starts if you're going to go out in public?
Sometimes.
What is the program that says I have to spend 2 hours to prepare myself to make myself look absolutely perfect to go out? Where did that?
It's not about looking. It's not about looking. It's about not losing myself by the end of the day and having to recuperate and re-find myself.
So what does that 2 hours of preparing yourself actually look like?
Doing things just for myself, not going straight into work. Yes, it's traumatic because being on call, waking up at 5 a.m. thinking that, okay, I'm late or something, an emergency has happened. And I run out the door totally unprepared, not even physically, but energetically, and then losing myself into the machine that is LA. So now I enjoy taking the time to prepare because then I feel centered for the rest of the time.
Now let me ask an even harder question. You are experiencing the vanity challenge of Los Angeles. So what is your vanity challenge that Los Angeles gives to you? Pure vanity challenge.
I came out here to be a producer, and that never happened because it's not the type of people. I mean, I saw the reality of it.
But there's only a handful of people that will ever get any jobs like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, let's go back to the vanity. So you have to primp yourself in the morning. What does that look like? Hair, nails, eyebrows, lips.
Not at all. I'm not that type of person. It's yoga, it's journaling, meditation, it's
Let's get back
revocation.
to vanity. You have no
I-
vanity process in a vanity world.
No.
Why? Because you don't respect your
Never
you don't
needed
res-
to.
You don't respect your body image. And I want to pass that on to Dale and then on to Dave.
So as Andrew was saying this and as I'm reading it, it seems to be that you're stuck in a way, and I don't know if it feels like sort of depression or it just feels like you sank and you can't get yourself up. Me personally, I'd recommend, as I was reading into you, is having some sort of prayer to get you out of where you're at, and having a regular fortifying of yourself, getting yourself up, allowing yourself to meet the soul family you need to meet, but having prayer as a daily process for you. I do think that's really going to help you. Do you say any prayers at all, or have any revocations? What's your format of doing prayers?
Some journaling,
Yeah, so
some specific prayers from a system, revocations in the evening.
Okay. So it would be very beneficial for you to start doing prayer on a regular basis when you wake up, what you want in your day, what you don't want in your day, and start analyzing yourself and seeing the different programs which take over and control you. And that's the bigger...
I have a question.
Just go ahead.
Sorry, what's the difference between the process of prayer and the process, like you said, what do I want in life? What do I don't want? What does the day want? Like, that's sort of goal setting.
But that can be
versus
prayer as well.
How does that...
You can add that
how's it
into a
different?
prayer. Yeah. Go ahead, mate.
Belief.
Mm-hmm.
and you know, the process of the fact that you're in an environment where, like Andrew's saying, vanity matters, but yet you don't embrace that. So you're in a big pond and you're not swimming like the other fishes, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's no need to be afraid of that. You have to embrace the environment that you're in order to survive within it. There's an element of that, and you're not giving away your free will or becoming one of the herd. It's self-preservation.
Mm.
I'm going to make this really simple for you, Anastasia. Okay? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, incisive questions. The first question is, tell me what you are most afraid of.
When I think about it, nothing really. It's...
Second question. Thank you. Tell me what you are willing to give up to find your tribe and be happy and comfortable.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you. Are you willing to give up being comfortable?
Not right now. I feel finally comfortable and out of survival mode.
You're out of survival mode, but you're hiding, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't... In a way, I don't feel prepared to have to go through... I mean, a lot of things happened that now I feel actually happy.
Are you really...
Like, day to day, I am happy, I'm glad, I'm grateful for my life.
What do you do
as a hermit?
Sorry, what do you do for fun? What's your idea of fun when you laugh and you let go? How do you create that?
I used to dance.
And how long ago was that?
Before COVID and in another state. But here the dancing is partner dancing. But now it's, you know, LA isn't.
No, but you said it there. You said it just a second ago. You're a hermit, right?
Sure. You
acknowledge that, you know. But how does a hermit vie for community?
I don't know. I mean,
How do you go from hermit to community? And it's not
That's
a
the
case
question.
of it's not a case of finding the perfect community. It's a case of getting yourself ready to be in a community.
Hmm.
Also,
Yeah, and that's
Accepting
a
that-
process.
Accepting that you're not going to find a perfect community. You have to make yourself malleable. You have to accept the environments that you're going to find yourself in. Learn to flourish, wherever you can be.
I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to go through that again.
You have nothing to lose. You're a
And
hermit.
you're going to have to start practicing the social skills step by step. The first few times you go out there, it'll scare the shit out of you. But the more times you do it, and like Andrew says, it's like muscles. It's like you start weight training, then you go out more, then you get used to it. Just having those people skills and interaction is going to grow you beyond belief. Because as I read your energy straight away, I could pick up a depression within you. And this depression, there's like a shadow and a dark. It's not darkness, but it's just where there's not much light coming into the brain, into the feet, into the spine area. So you're needing that joy of life at the moment. You're needing more light within you. Highly recommend sun gazing and getting that light really into the brain, into those areas which have been depressed, the shadow in the brain. Start clearing that up with sunlight. And you really need some more light in you at the moment. It's like you've lost that light within you because you've been stuck inside for so long. And it's how can you start energizing yourself again, recalibrating yourself again. Sun gazing is the start way. The next way would be flotation. The next way would be this and that. And to the point where you make an effort to go out in a group. You go to community without judging. Get your ego down. Just know that you've got to go there without judging them, just for the experience of talking and getting yourself out where you are. When was the last time you had a relationship?
A while.
When's the last
How
time you
long
had a
ago?
sexual relationship?
A while.
And how long's a
I-
while? What are we talking here?
10 years.
Yeah.
I like the way you all synchronized nodded just now. I like the way you
Okay.
synchronized.
Well, here's the other part, right? Here's the values side, is that I have a certain set of values and I feel comfortable in that. And I know others share those values as well. Where here in this coast, they don't necessarily share that. And as I was the industry that I was working in, the people I was surrounded with, it was radically opposite of me. And yet, my creative passions led me here, not my values. And so that's why I've gone into this hermit mode to solidify my values and be comfortable in that it's okay to have different values, but then there's no conversation. So like even creatively, it's very difficult to connect with people that have the same projects.
So do you mean
So
celibacy?
I feel like the service part might be where I need to go is to find people with the same service, not creative projects.
So through values, do you mean celibacy?
No, traditional, more of a traditional family.
Okay.
In order to do that, you're going to actually have to meet someone,
Get
aren't
out.
you?
Of course. Yeah.
In order to meet someone in Los Angeles, if I remember Los Angeles well, if you're hoping for serendipity type experience, it may not happen that well, right?
No, sure. Not Los Angeles.
Okay, so my question is, well, more just a question. This comfort curve that you're in, it's not serving you very well. You know that, right? Because it's not producing the results that you want.
Sure.
So you're going to have to do something, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the next question is, you want there's something that you do to be very safe and not compromise you in any way, correct?
Sure. And aligned.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not afraid of anything. It's more that finding the alignment without
Getting afraid.
to go forward
Yes.
rather than going back.
Can I ask you a question? Are you feeling drained right now speaking to us?
No.
Oddly enough, you're online with us. So, yeah.
Sure. and we have the same goals. We have a similar language, and we have a similar baseline that to understand each other, and we have that goal and a at least a theme, a shared theme. So I really appreciated the suggestion of going out and doing service and finding people that way, and it feels comfortable and safe to a place to practice and to develop the skills in a way that is authentic for me without creating a vanity persona that takes energy to maintain.
Define authentic.
Saying what I want in the moment, communicating what it is exactly that I want rather than what the other people want. And that's pretty much, yes, I do place a big importance on what other people think.
Oh.
So not playing to what they or what I think they expect of me.
Honestly, Anastasia, I think Anastasia, what I think you should do is just simply not care about what people think. And when you don't care and you walk out into the world and so on, the only place I care about my environment is when I go into Walmart, because that's a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I think you should do is just simply not care. And honestly, when you have the not care thing, it's kind of like a shield. It's like an energetic shield, right? You're walking on the street, you're humming the Beastie Boys song. Oh, God. And you're humming the Beastie Boys song in your head, right? And you're happy as a lark, and people see it. And then the people that can actually see, because you have a problem of being seen for who you really are, values and all. The people who can who will actually see will see you, right? And just a little note, because not just a little note between me and you. Having your camera off does not stop you from having energetic connections with people, just for the future.
Yeah. And that's part of why I also don't do it, because why, if if they can't see me feel that, then it's not about, well, I don't want to communicate, but it adds a different level of communication. And I feel like maybe that is something from LA, where I'm so used to being judged by the face, the photo, the headshot, that I kind of want to get away from that a little bit.
Okay, so I have a challenge for you.
Yes.
Every day, take a picture of yourself not in the picture. Just a blank chair. Just a blank chair. How many blank chair pictures before you want to see yourself in the picture? I'm serious. Can you go 100 days without taking a picture of yourself?
Sure.
100 chair pictures. I was at dinner. Here's my chair picture. I was at a movie. Here's the picture of the chair I was in. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Are you, or are you your image? Your image is you. You and your image are not one and the same. Listen, I speak 10 hours a day, video on, video off. Yeah. You have no idea. Yes, I think you're close, but no idea what it's doing like for 10 years straight, 100 sessions a month. Okay, where you're putting your fullness out. Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that this is from me and me alone. The fact that you don't want to turn your camera means there's a deeper character flaw in you about your personal image and look. Especially because whether you're good looking or it doesn't matter if you're not so good looking, your character flaw is my look. And that's what my challenge to you is: can you have 100 pictures and over 100 days without you in it and still be happy? And then you gotta start working, taking a picture of yourself every day.
Yes, I didn't quite hear the last sentence, but yes, I will do that.
The last picture is take a picture of yourself every day for 6 months. After you got bored of just you and just an empty chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling
Anybody
in.
else want to add anything?
Thank you.
No, I'm good.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Anna. Take
I
care.
really appreciate it.
So
You're welcome.
so next in. we have Tara onto the show. Hello, Tara. Welcome to the show.
Tara, are you there?
Tara's having internet issues.
Tara, are you there? No, so I'll put you in the back room and we'll try again after. So we'll get Tara out, then we'll get Alfredo in. Right.
Alfredo!
Alfredo,
Maty,
welcome to the show.
Dale. Can y'all
How
hear
you
me?
doing, Alfredo?
Oh, I'm feeling better. I was super stressed because I couldn't get any of this freaking audio, or I don't know. All this stuff was crapping out me the last minute, and it was really stressing me out. But I'm feeling better now. I just had to read and
Gremlins.
listen, y'all. Yeah, at all angles. I've never experienced anything like it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm here. I'm doing all right, man.
How's Lionsgate been for you?
It's pretty good. I was kind of been depressed because I had it wasn't an enriching Lucia Light experience. So I went back today. I did a float, and then I did Lucia again. It's pretty good, but I realized I could make my own more powerful experiences by myself with breathing and sun gazing and all this other stuff I do. But it was a cool experience. But I'm right now just hungry for like a deep experience.
So you basically, your first experience on the Lucia Light was nothing, and your second experience was nothing spectacular.
Yes.
So maybe the problem is you and not the light.
I realized I can't relax. Every little session I go to, I realize it's just like the tension that I carry with me everywhere, and like I don't.
That shit is going to knock all the experiences out.
Yeah.
I know you very well, and so
I've
it's a
been
little
realizing
bit.
this.
Yeah, it's a little bit of excess energy here. You are surrounded by 5 psychics who can see through everything. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm aware
So
of that.
if the issue is you, and you bring it everywhere, why can't you let go in front of something like the Lucia Light, which is just begging you to let go?
I know.
Because you're addicted. You're addicted to your emotional outcomes and the structures you've put yourself in and can't get out.
Yes.
Maty, you know this one well.
Yeah,
What
I do.
advice do you have for him?
Is there a vanity process running? Do you think, how the fuck can this particular thing be more powerful than the shit that I can do myself? Did you go in with an expectation?
I went in with extremely high expectations because I just hear all these
Of what?
life-changing experiences that everybody's had, and I'm expecting extreme life-changing experience myself when I went. Like life-altering.
And what happened? Nothing.
Nothing. I just, I saw colors, shapes, but I was just totally not amazed at all. And then that's like, yeah, I just made all it really did for me. Just realize all the tension I carry everywhere, and why I can't let down. I've been addicted to trying to visualize stuff in my process, and it's just been coming to nothing. Like I reached a plateau, like 5 or 6 years ago, and I haven't been able to get back to that at all. It's like I made all this progress, and then like I'm here, and I just can't get back to that point I was when I made that intense plateau. I'm just like, I know I'm like here. It's driving me nuts.
But the thing is that, that process was its own process back then. This is a different process now. And you already know what the problem is, right? You've literally just said what the problem was.
The Lucia Light showed me that I'm the problem.
There we go. So you're looking to the past to recreate something in the past, but right now in your journey, you already have the wisdom of what it is you need to move forward. But yet your expectations didn't meet the experience. Therefore, you discounted the experience and said you got nothing from it. You did get something from it, exactly what you needed.
It was a hard truth that, I just got a hard truth out of it, honestly. That I'm the problem.
Let's bring Dale in
Oh,
here
no
because he's
problem.
so much better than me with these interpersonal issues.
It's so like, how do you break the program within you, which turns on all the time you go through a set of experiences? And how can you fully be in the moment of the now? Because all you're doing is competing. Even though you don't see it, you're competing in every single form with everyone. And it's just something you've always grew up with, where you're in this competitional mode that one person's better than the other, or one person has this and that. Is how do you allow competition to disappear from you altogether? How can you feel illumination in the moment of the now? And this is some of the Andrew's teaching and a lot of teachings out there. How can you fully experience the infinite moment of the now, where the infinite moment of the now becomes there's no limitations there. You're allowed to experience what you need to in the moment. So I'd highly recommend, when you next go into those sessions, or just have a word with yourself. I'm going in now as a limitless being, as an infinite being, dropping all competition with myself and even the practitioner there. I'm not allowing this competition to really hold me back, because it's a program in you at the moment. I can see it. It's this like holding you like string. Like you have to be in competition mode. You have to judge someone higher or lower. What was it like for you growing up? Was there any as regarding what you see when you grew up? Was there someone always in competition with you, showing you that as you grew up?
I mean, I was definitely
Your mother.
competitive when I was
Your mother.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, that's one for sure. Probably the base.
But
child.
mothers, competition with the mother affects the adult differently as they get older and older. Are you still competing with your mother? Is she still showing you I win on all the philosophy subjects, the way you run your life, the way you have your kids, the way you get job, etc.? She constantly judging you and saying I win with my philosophy?
I mean, I don't really argue with her about it anymore. I just kind of.
So you gave up arguing, meaning she's won all the arguments and she's the total competer against you. Which has then created this inside you of high expectation, because I have to be able to beat through experience whatever my mother might beat down if I tell her.
Yeah, I want to jump in here.
Go ahead, David. Good setup.
Okay, yes, thank you. Right. There are two things that I'm going to say here. The first thing, I'm going to answer a question in the chat. Is competition negative? No, absolutely not. It's not negative. But when you attach it to your ego as an inflation device, like a pump, then it absolutely becomes negative, because then it inflates the ego, which will come back to Alfredo. Alfredo?
Yes.
Right now, you're all in your head. I can see it on your face. We're talking to you. Hi.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. I'm here.
I'm listening.
I'm here. Okay.
I'll look at you.
Let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion like souls. Okay. When I used to teach meditation, and people said I can't meditate because whatever, I knew what was going on. It was their mind. The real Satan in their life, the real Lucifer in your life is your mind, the ego, the top surface level of the mind that does not want to go to sleep. Okay? See, he just moved off again. Alfredo, I'm here. Right. I'm totally here. So we're going to have that discussion. So I used to tell people that if you want to experience trance and stuff, stop chasing it. You're chasing trance. You're chasing the experience. Right? Right. You're chasing the experience. Yeah, and it's going to keep moving away from you, because this is how the unseen world works. For those of you in the chat, I want to give this advice to everybody listening to this chat right now. Whenever they hear the experiences of other people, about people visiting other worlds, other dimensions, other galaxies, and so on, they're like, that is never going to happen to me. It's not real. No. The problem is that you're trying to get there with the wrong part of your mind. Okay? You're trying to get there the wrong part of your mind. I'm just listen to me for a moment, because I might have I might be a little bit experienced in these matters, right? So You're trying to get there with the wrong part of your mind. If you are going in with your ego, the surface level of your mind saying, I am going to go to the unseen realm and I'm going to see the things that other people have seen, then you're going to stay on earth. You cannot fly without wings. You feel me? So here's what I would suggest, and this is why you got blocked in the Lucia light. If you go into the Lucia light looking for experience, then that's not going to work for you. Okay? Here is another way of looking at it, and this is going to be totally counter to anything that you are right now. Okay? Here's my advice to you. Drop it. Drop that thing that's in your head that makes you want to experience what other people have experienced. Everybody's experience of the unseen may be slightly different, right? If you're connected with people, but the manifestations may be the same, but the experience is different. Okay? When you drop Alfredo, your biggest enemy in your life, I'm going to tell you right now, is Alfredo. You see that part of your personality that wants to stay awake, that wants to control where you go and how you go and all that stuff? It is only accounting scientifically. I'm going to speak to you from a scientific point of view. The part of you that you call Alfredo is only accounting for 5 to 8% of your capacity as a human being. Real talk. That is a scientific fact. Okay? You want to put that stuff to sleep. The next question is, David, how the hell do you do that? Well, I would suggest that you go to the Lucia light this time. Okay? Stop trying to quiet your mind. I keep telling these meditation students that all over the world. Stop trying to quiet your mind. The natural state of your mind is quietness. The natural state of you is being able to access the unseen world. That's what the natural state is. Okay? All the shit that you're experiencing where you're blocked, that's the illusion. The natural state is being able to close your eyes and immediately be in the unseen world. That's the natural state. This thing where you're blocked and then you're looking for experience, because you're looking for it, you're keeping the conscious mind alive. That's what's happening. You're keeping it alive because you think that you can logic your way into the unseen world, and that is what is defeating you. Okay? That is what is defeating you. And I say this with all earnest because I have had people, right, who I've taught meditation to who couldn't get it because they were very cerebral. They weren't here with me. They were always processing. And you might over-process yourself into a corner. And so your enemy is going to be your mind and telling it, shut the hell up. You've had enough power in my life. Now let me try something different. So I suggest you try something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I jump in here, David? Because I really want to say this to Alfredo. Alfredo, we're not locking you here. I know what kind of a person you are. You know?
Roast the shit out of you.
Yeah, no. I know what kind of person you are. And you know what kind of a person I am, okay? Now, let me tell you, my first 2 times on the Lucia light, so I went in there with the Maty mind, right? You know, I'm this being that can do this, go here, go there, do all these things. I went there with that mind, with that expectation. All I got, well, I did get some, I got a lot of the light that came in and I could feel the light in my body and I had the afterglow of a medicine experience, but my mind that was trying to experience something didn't get the experience. It was colors and light. That was the first 2 times of on the Lucia light, you know, and I was watching other people sit on the light and crying their eyes out, traveling to other realms. Did not happen with me. And that's the kind of thing that I do anyway. And I think it was the 3rd or 4th time that I was on the light when I just needed to be healed. I just, you know, I was just feeling, you know, I'm burnt out. I'm just going to sit under the light and just fucking switch off and allow whatever's going to happen. And so that's what I did. And I just laid down and you know what? Things literally came out of me. They were going whoosh, 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 all these different parts coming out of me. And I wasn't traveling realms, but things were leaving. They were going for good. Parts of me that I didn't need anymore. And it was because this genius Maty mind wasn't getting in the way. So, you know, this is what don't be discouraged by this. Just come from a different angle. Because you are a powerful being. You do have skills. You do have all the things that you need to be this powerful being. But in this process, it's about release.
Yeah. Just let go, Alfredo. He's written, Crystal Sean, we love you, Alfredo. We do. We've known you a lot of years and seen your struggles and seen what your sometimes what you do leads you to a degree of confusion. And I just want to send this big hug and loads of love to you, because when you find some peace being still in your heart and just let go the need for anything, you will open right up to all of that. Yeah? It's going down to the heart space without having to work anything out, a degree of acceptance. You are a wonderful being, Alfredo. You don't have to work everything out. You can just accept it and go in your heart and trust great mystery and great spirit to bring you those experiences. Just let go.
How many children do you have?
I got two.
Okay.
Two.
When they were going through that birth process, you had to surrender in that moment until they were birthed and in your arms, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to feel your first child in your arms. Did you have expectations to that moment?
Hell no.
Okay.
Made me feel like freaking butter.
Okay.
It's like melting.
Spirituality is the same thing. When you
Looking at a
truly
meter.
let go of all the expectations and let yourself be in the moment, you will melt like butter.
All right.
So come to the next light and the next float as if you are about to be born. And the real you is going to catch you and hold you and love you.
All right. I can do that.
You can.
And those children, what do they provide for you?
They remind me of being a kid, but I'm just so caught up in my damn freaking ways that I'm just so hungry for experience, but I can't even be a kid around them anymore. It drives me nuts. I want to be a kid with them, but I'm just so rigid, you know? I'm just the most rigid point in my life. I hate it, you know?
Who taught you this rigidity?
I feel like I taught myself.
Huh?
I feed it into myself. I don't know.
So for just in this moment, can you let all the rigidity go? Surrender to non-rigidity.
Do you know how many people are looking at you with love right now? In the chat room, right here.
No one's judging you as well.
I don't care if they are.
No, they're not. That's the thing, they're not.
I want to be a kid. I want to be happy again in my life.
So in this non-rigid moment, how do you play with your children again?
Just enjoy the presence with them. I mean, the little things they want me to do. They always want to hang out with me, want to do stuff, but I can't let go of the rigidity all the time.
How about you just go up to, how old are the children?
There's 7 and 8.
Okay, so they're at an age where dancing and music is important to them.
Yeah, we're moving to a new place, so I can let them be way more loud because their loudness disrupts the neighbors. But we got a new place coming up, so I want them to be able to play music and just be loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, but that's your rigidity talking.
Probably.
You can go up to them and show them how dance move. And begin to choreograph a dance move with them. That's an adult mind playing with children. David, you were a choreographer for a long time, weren't you?
Nice. For real.
I got him. I knew I'd get it out one day.
For real. This rigidity that he's giving you really good advice, though. It really is. And I'll tell you why. Just the act of dancing is going to free up your body and mind. Okay? It really is. And I think that that is one of the best suggestions. You're also very disembodied. And I say disembodied in the way that that cerebral thing is taking energy away from the rest of your body, and pretty much elevator going up is trapping it inside your head. You guys can see that, can't you?
Oh yeah.
Right? It's trapping it inside your head, and that's what the barrier is. So my suggestion to you is you get to moving with those kids. You're gonna be happy for it. Okay, really, you are. You really are. And Alfredo, just between myself and you, you need not to take life so seriously, man.
That's all I
Like
do, man.
you're dealing with the village idiots here. All of us are idiotic in our own way. We make phallus jokes, dick jokes. You need to get out of that. But my suggestion is get within the embodiment stuff. So get within the embodiment stuff. So start to move, right? I mean, I wouldn't suggest anything crazy like ballet, because that would be rigid when it's all says. But I mean, you know what I mean. Like, just start to move and get out of your head. Get out of that head. I
Can
feel
I
like
recommend something as a father? So if they're that age, get something they really like as a prize and do a fun competition, but you give them both a prize and they both win at the end, because sometimes at that age they might say no. So I always get something they like and go, who wants to win this? Right, let's have a dance, put music on for half an hour. The winner gets this. All the time I give them both of them. There's no winners, but I just say that. And get enjoy, be the DJ, go in and dance with them, show them how to dance, and just create that movement within you where you feel alive again, where you're allowing this energy to come from below instead of it all stuck up here. You're allowing freedom to be expressed through your body again.
Yep. And when that serious stick comes out of your rectum and you walk into that room and the kids can see that light in your eyes, you will see their faces light up and they will instantly respond. And in that moment, you'll realize, fuck, what was I doing?
You don't have to prove your spirituality to anybody, Alfredo. You just have to feel it. And that's enough. There's nothing to prove to anybody at all.
Are you familiar with the Phil Collins song "I Can't Dance"?
No, but I can check it out later.
How about
Okay, yeah. And then there's Men with Hats, the safety dance. Okay. Okay. All stupid songs from the 80s and the 90s that are meant to get people out on the dance floor and innocent again. Okay. That's one technique. There are so many other techniques that you can be using that can get you into this bodied state again, where you're out of your head and you stop overthinking. Because that's something you do: overthink, and then you're out of energy and you overthought everything, and then you have nothing more to do, and then you enter boredom and you start overthinking and you get you're bored. And it's a vicious cycle.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I'm just trying to make sense of this, because I got so good about clearing my mind. Like, I feel like I have a clear mind, but from what y'all are telling me, you're telling me it's still running me.
Oh yeah,
I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I don't have all these crazy thoughts flowing. It slowed down to a point where it's just like real stable, but I'm still acting on it apparently.
And spontaneity in the moment where you find yourself and you're like, shit, I've got this serious stick so far up my arse that it's coming out my head. And then you can just drop it and just do something ridiculous, something spontaneous. It's finding that spontaneous, because that's where that energy comes from. You can't plan it too much. I mean, you can in the beginning, but it just happens.
And take your brain left and right hemispheres. You know the practice. Soak it in your heart energy. Take it down there and just soak it in all that beautiful heart space.
Yeah. And you can always speak to the neighbours and say to the neighbours, do you know what, for this hour we're going to have a little party. You know, you can always speak to the guys, I'm really sorry, but maybe at this point on Saturday there may be some loudness and some music. You know, just whatever you can do just to take that worry out of your mind, cover all angles, but then let it go.
And get them to tickle you as well. See if you can put your arms in the air and see how long you can hold them in the air without holding. I always do it. So get them to see how long you can go without laughing. That's the funniest.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, do stupid shit.
Yeah.
We absolutely recommend it. Do something stupid every day. I do stupid shit all the time.
Put it in my daily practice.
Yes. But as part of your daily spiritual practice, do something stupid today.
We got a song for that. Come on, Andrew.
I hate that. Practice is too rigid.
If you're going to be dumb, you've got to be
non-rigid
tough.
daily practice.
You got to be fully dumb.
Yeah, I go full retard. I gotta do something.
No, that's when you're gonna try to blow bubbles and dance at the same time. Go get
I'm doing
soap
something
bubbles.
stupid today. I'm doing something stupid today. You're probably wondering why I have a bulldog clip in my hand, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it all started with me having a discussion with a lady out here about her whole maternal experience. And I'm asking, what does it feel like to have a human, feeding off of you, right? And she said, it's kind of like having something clamped to your nipples. So...
Yeah, but you like that stuff.
I like that. Yeah, I like the feel.
I'm looking at, I probably put a couple of eyes on it, get some arts and craft going.
Yes.
Do something stupid every day. All right, I'm seriously considering it. I'm just pondering the bulldog clip. Is that what it's like, Laura?
Surprised you're not using an alligator clip.
No, we're not using an alligator clip. No.
On a battery.
We're not using any device clips, something like that, okay? Something that shot to a whole different level. That would take it to another direction. Right? Right, so anyway, if anybody doesn't see me for a week or so, it's because I'm in the ER. Anyway.
Or in a dungeon somewhere.
Do something stupid every day. I do stupid shit every day. I'm considering doing something stupid right now.
This is the best advice ever. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Right.
one more thing for you to understand. The internet is not the expression of you. And have you been using the internet to express you?
Yeah, and I notice it, and then I just keep ignoring it. It's like, oh, let me use the internet so I can entertain myself, and then I'm always never fulfilled, and then I'm just like, ah. The next day,
Break
same
that,
thing over
break
and
that,
over.
break that cycle. Stop posting. Stop posting for a few days and see how it feels.
It's not the posting; it's just like the just
All of it.
distraction with entertainment or whatever. Yeah,
All of it. No one's gonna miss you. Don't worry. You're not gonna break their
I'm aware of
hearts.
that. I'm aware of that. Yeah, I can care less.
Okay.
Okay.
One more thing, man.
Yeah,
Life doesn't have to be so hard, and you do choose your difficulty level. Okay? Lower your difficult level to easy, and stop raising it to hard.
Yeah.
Okay? It is that simple. It really is that simple. David lowers his difficulty level by putting on a nipple clamp. Okay? Instead of writing, marketing, creating programs, that's his way of disconnecting, is nipple clamping himself with eyeballs on it.
It will also make you very embodied because you
Yes,
become
it'll
very
make you
aware of
very
your body and choices.
Okay?
I like the thought of it.
Okay?
I want to be able to feel my experiences,
Exactly. You want to feel your experiences. Let's start with the nipple clamp.
I'll do it in my next breathing meditation.
Yes.
Nipple clamps. I can
The
feel
Tao
it.
of nipple clamping.
Yeah.
Right, thank you for calling in, Alfredo. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure,
thank
brother.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
You're
you
a
all.
good man, Alfredo.
Yeah.
Every one of us.
Yeah,
You're
you're
out,
a good
brother.
person.
Good talking
You've
to
got to give yourself that joy.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
So we have Tara, and hopefully she'll sort her out the order. Hello, Tara. How are we doing?
Hello, Tara. Can you see
Can
me?
you- We can't hear you.
Have you set the restream up to the mic? So make sure it's on the correct microphone you're using the headset.
I think
There's a settings icon there, just below the screen. And if you click on that, you'll see audio.
Psychic tech support.
Yeah. You'll see audio. And then there's an audio input where you can choose where your audio is coming from, and audio output.
While you're doing that, Tara, I'm going to talk to you about your throat chakra and your inability to express yourself and letting your voice heard.
That's a great one. I wish we had sound effects, I really do.
Hello.
Hello.
Yay!
Can you hear me
You
now?
made it.
Oh,
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm so
Oh,
happy
bless
to
her.
be here.
Where are you from,
Thank
Tara?
you for hitting the nail on the head. I have so much to say, but I don't know how to say it. So thank you for that, David.
You're welcome.
Andrew, I've been listening to you since 2013, and I am 30 years old now. So you've been...
Dang, you listened to me a long time since you were 23.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and a lot of your teachings have been so helpful. I'm from South Africa, Mpumalanga, so I'm like living in a remote village, quite far out from everything.
I know what
but
that's
yeah.
like.
It's nice. I love
is.
it actually. Yeah. I like trees.
I love the space, the open space. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
Oh, that question always makes me freeze. I am a mother of 6. I am an artist and a writer, and my day job is digital marketing.
The question made her freeze, remember.
Yeah. She probably has to turn her video.
Yeah, that's internet.
A mother of 6 at 30. I wanted to hear what was coming next.
And a digital marketer.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what was coming next. Oh.
Tara, if you can hear us, just turn your video off and then you will reconnect.
Yeah, she's in reconnect mode now.
Yeah.
So let's continue reading her image.
Well, I'm going to just deduce, I'm going to do the Sherlock Holmes thing. The digital marketer has issues with expression. Do you see?
Yes.
Okay. So, Tara, if you're listening to us after the fact, we're going to do a reading off of your profile. I can see that you're living in a slight overwhelm. I think you need to express yourself, but there's some things that are stopping you and blocking you from expressing yourself. And I suspect you probably live the spirituality life in the closet. Is that correct? Why am I asking if she's correct? She's frozen.
I just had to fill it.
What the hell is wrong with me? You see, my mind is on the lip clap. Anyway, as I was saying,
And the fact that there's 6 kids, the fact that there's a 6 kid, there's absolutely a growing sexuality issue.
Yeah.
6 kids is going to take away from that self-giving, caring, nurturing sexuality time, inevitably. Right, Dale?
You know what I see in this lady? I see a big soul in her. She has a really big soul. She has a big heart and soul. She does.
But I bet she never gets to finish a sentence in that household.
Ah!
Yeah. I'll have her own thoughts.
You never do. You never do.
Sarah, if you're on there, come back.
Come back.
So keep going, Laura. She never gets to finish the sentence. What else?
Because you're on continual distraction. It's continual distraction, isn't it, with 6 kids? I
Yep.
mean, we ought to ask Dale about that.
Yes, it is.
No, sorry,
The
Dale's
source
gone the
isn't
other
open
way.
as much with 6
He's
kids,
just switched
unfortunately.
himself off.
Slid out the
She's
way
got
of that one.
Yes. And you want to be heard above 6 kids as well, don't you? So there's almost it's not a competition for some space, but there is that, where does she fit into all this?
So Dale,
Where's
did
her
you ever do
time?
the clamp thing?
Snippety snip is on the menu, but I'm going to be brutally honest here live in front of everyone. It
All
scares
right,
the
all
shit
right.
out
So
of me.
we were going to have a special show the day before Dale is snipped.
Live from the surgery. We should do it.
Yeah, we're going to interview his balls.
How do you feel about this whole scenario?
Yes, left ball. What do you feel about this?
Tara's
Right
back,
ball.
guys.
What do
My
you
left
here.
ball's scared, my right
She's
ball's
here.
scared. Tara's back. Quick, get her
Tara's
on.
back. Come in, Tara. Come in.
There we go. Do you want to put your video
We're
off,
having
Tara,
a
so we can hear you?
session.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's like everything. I have had so many obstacles to get onto this call. You have no idea from the time that I was like, I want to do this.
Tara, do you want to take
Yeah.
your video off just so you can stay connected? Because it'll
Yes,
hold
please.
the connection a much more.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Tara,
So
talk to
we were
us.
reading.
Tell us
We were
everything.
reading your frozen. We were reading your frozen image. So,
Oh.
David, go where you left off.
Tara, here's what I want you to do. I want to do something with you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to talk like you've never talked before. I want you to give me an airworm. I want by the time you finish talking, everybody to be like laying still and not moving. Tell us everything you want to tell us.
Wait, I about like
Tell us everything about
what I
yourself.
want-
Tell me everything about
everything
yourself.
about myself.
What's it like to be a mother of 6 children at the age of 30 and to do all those other things that you do?
It's a lot.
Oh, you think?
I'm very tired a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Oh, so like, can I tell you why I actually wanted to do this? And then I promise you, I'll probably not be able to stop talking. So, 2 months ago, my grandmother passed away, and since then, I've been feeling like I'm disintegrating. And it's been really intense because I still have to do life and kids and work and things. And so it's been really weird. I've been grieving in the strangest way. Like, she was very important to me. She was like my mother. But so I think I have to add like another bracket side story. I grew up on the Cape Flats. So I come from a very traumatic background. And it's been really difficult to get to this point. Like I said, even just this call, I don't know if it's something that I keep putting out there that just keeps coming back, where like everything is just not ease. And I just keep, and I know, I feel like I have so much theoretical knowledge. And I mean, like I said, I've been listening to Andrew for so long. I got off into this thing when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, like starting to learn about manifestation and all of this stuff. And I still feel so stuck. So like after the passing of my grandmother, I've kind of been like falling apart, feeling like I'm fixing, like feeling like the reason that I'm falling apart is because I'm fixing all of that stuff. But like, I know that I've got a lot of trauma and that I've never gone for counseling or therapy or anything. And I'm very like anti very many things, especially like doctors and therapists and stuff. So I've been looking for like alternative ways to fix all the things that's going on, but it's a lot of stuff, and that's just generally like what I feel like my vibe is. I'm generally like a lot with a lot of stuff.
Matriarch.
Sorry?
You lost your matriarch.
Yeah, more than that. I feel like I also I left Cape Town a long time ago. I left Cape Town like 10 years ago, and I grew up in Cape Town. So I basically just got on a train and left for Joburg and didn't say anything to anybody. And I was like, I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to live on the Cape Flats. I'm not going to raise my kids or be there. Like with this, the Cape Town is a very hectic place. And so for the last 10 years, I've basically just been like traveling around the country. I've done some crazy things. But I feel like all in preparation for something that needs to happen. A lot of the traveling has involved like getting to know people, a lot of people, being sort of like a counselor for them. Like when I started this, I said I can't talk, and yet I have so much to say. So I can talk a lot, but I have so much self-confidence issues that I feel like that's really holding me back from doing
It
things.
sounds like you don't have any time for yourself at all.
Oh, well, yeah, no. Kind of, yes. But also I realized that like taking a nap or sitting down and having a cup of coffee or whatever is not really taking time for yourself.
Nope.
I haven't ever had any time for myself. Let me say that. I feel like from the time that I got to this planet, they got me, and it's been flipping fighting ever since then. It's been hardcore. And I'm still trying to catch my breath. This is like the first time in the last 3 years that like I've had a little bit of breathing space and had steady work and had a lovely husband and my family's okay, and because I've had some really hardcore experiences, and now I'm just like, okay, so now I've gone through all of that, now what? But at the same time, I feel like everything is breaking inside of my body, and I'm going through a lot of stuff since my grandma passed, like internally, mentally, seeing myself like not being very happy with what I'm saying. And like, I think that's why I called, because I was just like, which way, guys? some guidance.
Trauma.
Sorry?
So can I ask you a question? Sorry, Maty, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it just sounds like trauma upon trauma upon trauma upon trauma. You're a young woman. You're not able to express yourself the way a young woman would. You have not only children, but a lot of children. You've lost your matriarch. You've been traveling around. You have no roots set down. It just sounds like it's just trauma upon trauma upon trauma, and you just haven't had the chance to heal. And you don't even have the space to do it.
And what would your grandma want you to do? Would she want you to take care of yourself? Or would she want you to go in self-destruction mode?
Well, I feel like since the funeral, when she passed, I felt a leave. Like it was the first thing that like was really triggering for me, because I was working myself into the ground, and for no reason other than just because like I feel like I get a lot of my value through my work. So I was working till like 3 a.m, and she passed at 2. And just before she passed away, I got this like wave of nausea and thing. And since then, I feel like she's just been with me the whole time. I've been having really like crazy manifestation things. And she always used to say, like, she was this really crazy lady. She always used to say, like, is there anybody that I can phone to get you noticed? I feel like I need to get you noticed. And I was like, no, Ma, you can't do that. You can't just phone people and tell them, hey, check out. So since then, it's been like she's been doing that for me in the spirit world, you know, like getting
you're phoning us right now. You're phoning us right now.
Yeah, well, I've been praying for this for so long that like when this happened, I was like, there's no way that I'm actually going to talk to Andrew and Laura. Like, that's so crazy. I only discovered the rest of you guys like later on in life, but like I was just like this lost little random kid from Bala, and then like I found your stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. Like all of this is real. Like that's so, but I feel like I've had a lot of like, I don't know, is it weird to say curses or like just like
not on this show.
Energy around me.
Not at all.
Sorry?
No, you can say whatever you want. We've heard it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I live in a place where there's a lot of black magic and stuff. Like even just in the place where I am, like very openly, very like accepted and stuff. And I've definitely feel like in the last couple of months I've had stuff directed at me. But also over my entire life. Like I've had lots of nightmares, terrible trauma. Like that one of the questions I wanted to ask is like what is sexual abuse and rape and what is its place in this whole thing? Like what are you meant to do with all of this stuff? Like this knowledge or this information or this experience or whatever. Like that's what I've been trying to figure out for the longest time.
Heal
I
from it.
gotta say something here.
Good.
Young lady, you must have the biggest heart ever. You have 6 kids, you're 30. We have a pretty good idea the kind of trauma that you've been through over and over again, right? You're talking to people who are not bricks, right? Your mother has died, which was probably an anchor in your life, and you still want to help people. That's
I don't know. Well, it must
and
be
you're
for something,
grateful.
right? Otherwise, what was it for? What was all of that for if not to do something with it? Otherwise, it was just for nothing and I'm supposed to sit here and feel sad or like...
To heal
Why,
yourself.
why do we not have more people like this in the world? Why? Why? I'm having a little bit of a meltdown. First of all, let me say a few things. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. There was a reason why we waited until you came back because we really wanted to speak to you. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, of all, look, you are a very useful human being to your kids, to everybody else. So here's what we're going to fix your life now. Okay, I'm going to give you like an agenda. The first agenda is to find ways of giving yourself some kind of what do you call it, self-care. You need the isolation, you need the space and mind to recuperate. That's the first thing. The second thing, and my suggestion, you've lost the mother who was your support system, but you're going to have to find ways of giving yourself some self-care, some room to breathe. Okay. The second thing that you're going to have to do is you have a lot of stuff that you can share with the trauma you've gone through. A lot of people wouldn't have made it. A lot of people would not have made it. So, and the thing is, you're not particularly religious from what I can gather, which means that you had to drag yourself out of these kinds of spaces by yourself, right? And that is a lonely existence. I want everybody who's in this community to listen to this call. You hear this? You hear this? Somebody speaking to you. She's still here. She's still here, fully presenting herself. Well, not fully because the camera's off, but then that's another thing that you're not getting it.
Well, that's
Right?
the problem, right? Is I
She's
want
fully
to, I feel
She's
like I
still here.
need to, for the longest time, I've had this drive to like do something with this knowledge. I've actually written a book, but it like sits there while I'm editing it slowly with the
Oh, hell
perfectionism.
no. Finish writing that book because
I know, I tell myself that all the time.
I would pay for that book. All right, I would pay money for that book. I want to read this book. Look,
Thank
a lot of
you.
people, are on the spiritual path. A lot of people have written books, right? I'm quite sure a large majority of them have not gone through the shit you've gone through. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is
Well, I
real
think that's
spirituality
why-
there.
You know, I don't know if Andrew can hear me, but like I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I found this information was because like I came here into a very colored, well, I know this is a weird word, but like in Cape Town, we are the colored community, right? We're a very small community, or like what are they called? The Khoisan people. But I'm very, very mixed. I've got a lot of different lineages and stuff. And I always felt like weird. I was just like, why do I feel like I know stuff that I shouldn't know? And why am I in this place, right? Like where people are drinking and like not caring not anything like, I don't know if you guys have read anything about the gay flats or if you know anything about the gay flats.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of gang violence, there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of like really bad shit stuff, study stuff going on there. And I was always like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, how do I help these people, right? Because I've got family there, I've got people that I care about that have also gone through equally as bad experiences. And I think that one of the main reasons and then had to go through all of this was as a testimony, perhaps, because like I did actually have a very deeply religious background. I grew up Christian, but my grandfather was a pastor, and I probably studied the Bible back to front so many times, and very, very, very many other texts. And so you're probably right. I'm not exactly religious per se, but I would think very spiritual, but more like living the mystical life daily type of spiritual. Just like trying to bring it into real life experiences for people like me that don't have access to this information, that have no idea that this whole entire world exists outside of this insane, because it's a horrible part of the matrix where people are starving all the time and fighting, and they have no opportunity to get this information. I scrounged around for it and
Tara, can I
borrowed
ask a
many
question?
books. Yeah.
So, Tara, from all the years of listening to Andrew and what he's talked about and teached, what have you learned from it, and what are you practicing from it at the moment? From all of those times and shows you've listened to, what are you doing? What in regards to that?
So I've dipped in and out many times. The revocations have always been one of the strongest things for me. I think because I like words, and just makes it easier for me to connect like that. But I really struggle to maintain a practice. Like every time I get back into it, because like I said, I feel like my body is super toxic right now and I need to heal it. So I can't say connection because I feel just yuck all the time. But I think that's what's coming out, is that like I need to fix this. I need to heal my body, and I need to start going deeper into that trauma to fix it so that I can do whatever it is that I need to do. But I don't know if it's affirmation that I want.
So the best service you can do for your ancestors and grandmothers is to take care of yourself, nurture yourself, heal yourself. And that's the best thing you can do to elevate yourself out of from where you're in at the moment, is actually making the schedule of having self-healing, self-nurturing a part of your daily practice. And the many teachings Andrew said throughout the years, those are going to be important for you. Finding the times where you can truly relax, where you can unplug from the kids, where you can truly be you again. Those are those moments you're going to have to find and just see those self-defeating program habit patterns which come in, which goes, I don't have time, I've got this many kids. You can find time if you find it. If you truly put the effort in, forget someone to look after the kids and have time alone where someone can give you some body work, or you can go for a float, or just anything. There's so many things out there. But for you specifically, self-care is the way forward for you, by having that self-nurturing time. You've got 6 kids. I've got that many kids as well. It's crazy. Like I need to have my relaxing time or I'd go crazy. Like you do, you boil.
I want to mention that I have 6 minus 1. The one is much older, and she's with my biological mother. So when I say 6, I mean 6 as in I've had 6 first 2 years.
That's exactly the same scenario I'm in as well. There is 6.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Yeah.
There's still a lot.
It is a lot.
Did you say you didn't feel well, Tara? Did you say your health was not good?
Been very like I can just feel things are breaking. I don't know if that makes sense. Recently I've had womb issues, which I think has a lot to do with what I was going through because of my gran. Like I felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, and I did this exercise with someone where I was like just trying to feel where it was in my body, and it came out to this lump in my womb. And then at the same time, disclaimer, this is very weird personal information, I don't actually care. I was bleeding for like 2 weeks, and I'm like I said, I'm very anti-medical establishments and stuff. So I was not about to go to clinic. I just tried to do some womb healing, like for myself. And I also feel like I'm able to do Reiki, so I do try to do that for myself as well. But that's been the biggest issues that I've had recently, like a lot of like womb issues.
So what's your problem with going to the doctor with the 3D side of things balanced with your spiritual
I've had
side?
terrible experiences. Terrible experience. Well, I must remind you that, like, as a minority person, or what you guys would call a minority person, a person that just has access to not, well, below average services, and very, like, I live in a village with a lot of people that need that as well, and so it makes it much more difficult to get, I don't know, I would prefer to do natural treatments. Oh, I should also mention, this is like my one of my biggest achievements is 3 of my children are I birthed them myself.
Okay.
Well,
So it was
So I
super
got
healing. So
I got an answer to your question you were asking earlier. What can you do with all this stuff?
I'm
Chronicle it,
listening.
chronicle it, and turn it into a story to teach people what it's like to live in those communities with all of those threats, all of that violence, all of that alcohol. And at the end, you create a part of that story that shows people their way out. Use your
Thank you.
creativity, use your digital marketing skills. You figure every way in which you can put the hook, line, and sinker in it so it teaches to the core of what real third world living is. Okay?
Thank
David
you.
knows what he grew up in. He grew up in St. Lucia, the Banana Republic, the original Banana Republic. Okay? He knows exactly what you're going through. As do I. I may have been born in the United States, but I still know what the third world countries are. I have experienced through sessions all the things that you're talking about through different clients. And if you cannot figure out a way to verbalize it in such a way that it makes sense to you, it's going to continue to make discombobulations in your life. The fact that you have no access to real health care and you have to turn to the alternative methods because going to that doctor may kill you or cost you an arm and a leg, literally. Correct?
Literally. Yeah, literally. But
For one leg or
also,
another, it'll kill you for going, or it'll kill you for not going.
yeah.
Okay?
He's correct.
Well,
She's correct. I've
yeah.
had experiences very negative. I just want to say something to you.
Bless you.
And I want to share I want to share a story with you, and it's my personal story. Okay, I was a baby. I was learning to walk. Right. I keep telling the story. I learned to walk on my toes. Okay. No smart comments from anybody in the forum. I learned to walk on my toes. Right. And my parents were concerned. Took me to a doctor, and the doctor at the time, he was actually a foreign doctor who came and convinced my parents somehow to cut open the back of my legs and do an Achilles muscle tendon slide on both of my legs, which crippled me for quite some time, right? So that's the funny fact about it. When I healed from that surgery, I went back walking on my toes, but I have 2 scars at the back of my legs to prove it. So my point to you is that, boy, do I feel you, my sister. I feel you. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, this is a statement of comfort more than anything else. Your personal practice, since that time, my experience with the medical community, well, the first thing I do is make sure that I don't have to go to any hospital by keeping myself in shape. Right.
Yeah.
But the second, and this is a real fear, and this is not to be understated. I want you guys to hear this, right? People who grew up in the third world have a real fear, an internalized fear of going to dentists, doctors. These have been places of torture for us, huh? Torture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my most
where
recent very negative.
The way I deal with it, I'm gonna just say this to you, is by whenever it is that I need to go to some place, I really, really pray, and I put my energy into making sure that I have a good experience. That's how I deal with it, right? And I've not had to do it for a long time, but yes, I understand. I understand. I do.
I went to have my baby and ended up having a cesarean, which was really rough, and I was like really young at the time. But also a couple of people close to me passed away because they went to the hospital. So it's something that we're very wary of. But also just like wanting to find alternative therapies and stuff, because I've always felt drawn to that. Like my one grandmother, I was raised by both of my grandmothers essentially because my parents were working. And she was very in tune with like the natural environment, and she knew a lot of natural remedies and stuff. And I feel like it's something that's always like drawn me to that as well. And that's why I've chosen not to. But like at this point, with whatever's happening to me right now, even though I feel like I am trying to deal with it by myself, it just doesn't feel like it's enough. And that I do need to look to think like outside. That's why I'm calling, because I'm like, what?
Now
Yeah.
it's time for you. Now
What
it's
do I
time
do?
for you to put on. Listen, it's time for you to put on the grandmother's shawl, and say, "I am the living grandmother now. Whatever wisdom was passed on to me, it is my duty to pass on that wisdom to others. Be the wisdom holder and the wisdom keeper. Pass it on to as many people as you can. Even if you got to write your book out by hand and copy it on a photocopy to give it to other women or other people in other places in your environment."
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I've written it on a Word doc. And I
Good.
definitely, I've taken advantage of the digital space to access more than what I have available to me in my surroundings. So I definitely think, I just feel like I needed a little bit of maybe a boost of confidence. And
Sure.
like I said,
You
just to
also-
know that I'm not crazy and that
You
like
also
all of
need-
this wasn't happening.
You need to accept that you're the living grandmother now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's heavy.
The
That's
living
one that
grandmother is the holder of the wisdom to pass on to others.
Thank you.
Okay? Pass it on to others.
And if you want inspiration, I'll give you inspiration. Each one of us can see what's going on here. The hardships that you've been through, the way that your life is, and the moral code that you have, the energy that you're giving off is the perfect recipe for one of the most potent healers you can be. I mean, you just have it all. You just have it all. Once you go through your healing journey, you will be formidable.
Agreed.
With that, we got to call it an end of the show. We've been going on for 3 hours. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing
Thank you
your
for
story.
waiting for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so
needed to have
much.
it.
Through. Great to
It was
meet
so
you.
Come back.
Blessings to you
Back.
guys. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Tara.
All right,
Wow,
Dale?
guys, what a show. Oh,
Yes.
what a show. 3 hours as well. That's just
Is
look
that
at
your
the time.
longest
Holy
talking
shit.
stick? Is that your longest talking stick show?
I think we've done a 3 hour before, haven't we, Laura? I swear
Just
we've done
one.
Yeah,
one.
I'm sure.
We've done
We've done
one
one 3
before.
hour
This is
before,
the
yeah.
second 3 hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to just say thank you to everyone as well, all the comments in the chat for listening and watching and supporting all of us, and these incredible people, these hosts, Andrew, David, Maty, Laura. Thank you so much, guys. It's an honor, and you're all inspiring. And thank you for watching the Lionsgate show, and I hope you all have a great Lionsgate. Do you want to quickly go around? How can people get hold of you, Maty, for sessions and so on?
Okay, so if you want a private session with me, psychic surgery, whatever else you require, it's Matywaller, 2feathersmedicine@gmail.com.
Thank you, bro. Andrew?
I've got a cheddar attacking foxes in the background. You go to my website, andrewmartins.com. We are now taking the next people who want to be in the mentorship class That will begin the third week in September. That's level 1, level 2, level 3 available for those that have been in the other mentorship classes and want to continue. Go on and sign up. You can also look inside your emails. We are giving specials on having sessions also.
Thank you, brother. David?
Yes, I wish Cheddar some good luck because, yeah, foxes are irritating in England. So, as the first thing, you guys can reach me at info@universalcitizentv.com. You and join the UCM community. We're doing movies and stuff like The Celestine Prophecy. We review books. And we are generally trying to expand the community, especially for those of you who are living in the basement. And y'all know who y'all are. I just want to be by myself. Yeah, this would be your sign on Lionsgate to come out wherever you are.
Let's hear you roar.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, David. Laura?
Yeah, so Andrew's staying with me, as you've probably worked out. And if any of you guys in the UK would like to... Why are you laughing, David? If any of you guys...
There was a part of the show. There was a part of the show, right, when you put on your phone camera, and I'm like, Laura's teleporting.
You'll see Andrew sneaking in, and then you walking out, and then Andrew.
I was dying laughing here, right? He's teleporting from one digital paradigm to another. I'm like, whoa.
This being Andrew's UK tour, so guys, if you want to meet Andrew or get a group of you together, then we can arrange that. At the moment, we're working on Combined Therapies UK, which is tried and tested combined therapies that David and Andrew have been using for a while. We're going to do it, and we have been doing it over here in the UK. We've been in York, where we had an absolutely fabulous response and fabulous time. Well, we think we found a venue now in the south in Brighton. It looks very promising. If we can secure that, then we are going to open it up both to York and Brighton, and that will generally be all 4 of us present there doing all the different skills we've got. It's it is the most amazing system. We don't believe anybody out there nobody's doing it quite the way we're doing it, and you only have to read some of the feedback we've got on Facebook and so on of how successful it is. But please, while Andrew is in the UK, contact me, laura2feathers@gmail.com with the number 2. If you want to meet Andrew in some form or another, and you can get a group of you together. I know Andrew's up for that, aren't you?
Yep. Also, if you guys are looking for private combined therapy, we are open to doing private sessions for people that are looking for an extended amount of time in the system.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And if anybody would like any psychic surgery, go to daletobin.com. And thank you again, everyone, and good night.
Yeah, thanks to all the guys who came on and the chat.